Live tonight on American Zombie. Like to say what's up to everybody. StreamYard link pinned to the top of the chat. Tonight, crime and punishment. Yeah, crime and punishment. Does society create the crime that the criminal commits? Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. What all of these people have heard about from Jordan Peterson and many others, but also just the basic stuff that goes on throughout the USA and the world in general. When we look at some of the things that are happening and people try to blame the crime on a certain type of person, it just doesn't add up because we see crime being committed from people of all different ethnicities, gender. We see ages, different ages of people just going buck wild. Um, Also, the injustices that we see. There are a lot of good channels talking about crime and punishment as well. They have some that are almost defy belief sometimes when I think about it. I'm like, man, how? But when you push people to a certain extent, who was it that was saying most of us do live a low grade of depression? We live in a low grade of depression. Some people live quiet lives of desperation, as was said in many old writings. But when we look at things that have happened, like especially these statistics, when people try to quote statistics, like for instance, there was a lady that was just caught recently after I think it was decades of evading a missing child report, and they got up to her. They finally got up to her. The video's on YouTube, and it's kind of shocking because a friend and her were talking in what appeared to be a very nice suburban neighborhood, and when the cops showed up, that was it, man. They thought it was a joke, and then one told her, "Look, it's not a joke." And then finally, they arrested. This is a middle-aged white woman in suburban America, basically arrested for basically child abduction. It may have been uh, put down as. Then we have a recent one with this guy who was supposed to get like over 70 years. He essayed two young girls and then tried to end them and was facing over 70 years. And the Oklahoma prosecutor, and I don't know what's going on in Oklahoma, right? He got community service or something like that. I mean, this is like some crazy, crazy stuff. Like, I don't know if it was Oklahoma where the guy got off on, they found him behind a dumpster doing something to a girl. And then the judge let him off with 6 months. And now his father is mad because people are calling him a criminal, a particular type of criminal, even though he did commit it, he was convicted of it. But magically, certain people don't commit as much crimes as others. When we look at what most, what would I call them, bigots are just trying to push all the time of, oh, it's only a certain people. Meanwhile, when you look at crimes that aren't documented, like Jesse Butler, that's a perfect example of it. Dutch Black Pill, brother, good to see you, man, from the Netherlands, man. Yeah, I know it's kind of thank you for keeping. Thank you, brother. Alexis, my brother, good to see you. Is the government the one importing the drugs? And that's an excellent question, man. That is an excellent question. Somebody told me once, he goes, I think it was a comedian that had said it after. He probably got it from real people in society talking about it. He said that he had told me this many years ago, decades. He said, how is it that the government can find a raft with people coming from Cuba or Haiti, right? They can find a raft, but they can't find a super tanker coming in here with drugs because that's basically what they got to be bringing the stuff in on for the amount of drugs to exist in the USA that we're seeing, that they just the ones that they catch. I would say without a doubt, for me, in my opinion, that definitely government There is a criminal element to it. That's why you have military police in the military for the people in the military committing crimes. That's why you have internal affairs, which for some reason doesn't really come up. When's the last time anybody heard a politician going to jail? I can't remember, especially no presidents. It's as if no presidents commit crimes, or vice presidents. We saw with Dick Cheney and these guys what happened. You can accuse an entire country of having WMDs and go in there, and I think over 500,000 people were ended in that, and nothing was found. And then they toppled the guy that was in there. Not saying he was a good guy, but for all of this to be done on what many would say is a lie, it really should make people stop and think about this, to say, wait a second, this is some serious stuff. So right there, Alexa says, didn't Trump get convicted though, MD? Doesn't that count as the president going to jail? I don't think he went to jail really I mean, he got arrested, but as far as going to jail and doing time, I don't see how that is. Drew, good to see you, brother. Always. Matter of fact, I'll look that up right now. So did Trump, I'll type it in just like that. Did Trump get convicted? To Lord Google. All right. I typed that in. And this is other things came up too, like the mortgage, for all type of stuff, man. So 1 year after what they say, this is ABC's news on Donald Trump's hush money conviction, made him the first president to be convicted of a crime. But he didn't do no time, right? Why didn't he do any time? It's like, if you're convicted, they're saying 34 felonies a year ago. How does that even happen? And you become president? How does that even happen? You know, it just, it really makes me wonder. But the statement that I had made, Alexis, was, when was the last time that we've seen a president go to jail? Like, because jail and prison are two different things, right? Jail is county, prison is state and federal. You have to be sentenced to a certain amount of time, I think, to go to serious places, especially if it's a maximum. And if you're in a position of that, it makes you wonder, like, wouldn't they get more time? You know? And PBS has something up here. It says how Trump avoided punishment for his felony convictions. So like the title of the live stream, Crime and Punishment. So we see that crimes were committed, but no punishment was put out. You know, that's something. You know, why we don't hear about nobody from top organizations, DEA, FBI, CIA, nobody from the Food and Drug Administration, the CDC, or think about that, because this is how you think in the opposite direction. So basically it's saying they don't commit crime, or at the least, if they commit crime, they don't go to jail. But if you even get suspected of not paying your taxes or something like that, oh, forget it. The microscope is on. The microscope is on. Sons of God, good to see you. Nicolas Cage is just too good. I don't get it. Oh, is that from Lord of War? Mr. X, good to see you, brother. I've been hearing so many screwed up stories of abuse in foster homes. Man, they are some really, really messed up stories about the foster care system, man. It just, Nixon didn't go to jail. He was, I remember Schwarzenegger was praising him, like, hey, man, Arnold, screw your freedoms, Schwarzenegger. And it's just so sad because he, again, ushered in what some would call the steroid infusion into movies. When you look at when Sylvester Stallone started with the Rambo thing, and of course they tried to push Pumping Iron, where they bought up. I remember years when Arnold was running for governor, they were saying he went to buy up, like, I think he paid over $1 million or something like that for the outtakes of Pumping Iron, because there was a lot of stuff where he was they said he was idolizing Hitler. And his father, they say, was an SS. He was part of Hitler's crew. That's why I was saying, when you really look at it, I don't think the Nazis lost World War II. I think we're in, yeah. I mean, Nick Cage. I don't know who. Are you talking about Nicolas Cage, the actor? Is there some other Nick Cage that? Here, let me see. Nick Cage, God is Good. Is that likely refers to the discussions or potential movie projects, The Carpenter's Son? I don't understand what you guys are saying. If you want to get a little deeper on that. Alexa says, I woke up about Arnold when he ran from yeah, man. I mean, that, just when I heard, I already had suspicions, and this is where the zombie machine gets to you, when you see everybody cheering somebody on, how great they are, what beautiful movies they've made. And it's like, okay, that's great. Does that give a guy, is he qualified to run a state? So because he's a movie, this is the epidemic of stupidity front and center. Because somebody can play a sport good or can act very well. So is that saying that he has the qualifications to run a country, especially the United States? And then they have the nerve to call another country a banana republic? Just take Trump, for instance. I mean, even Biden, when you look at Biden and Kamala, that was like some, I don't even, like, circus comedy. Trump is even crazier. Even though I don't even know, after 4 years of Biden Kamala, it was just like anybody, like anybody but them. Anybody but them. And then to see Democratic zombies push and actually be serious about Kamala, I was like, you got to be out of your mind. What kind of choice is that between Trump and Kamala? That's not a choice. That's an insult. That is an insult to everyone's intelligence. To see, thank goodness, I think I live in a country free enough where people can say this, because I think that's the misnomer, that we really think it's free. It's like that guy said, freedom of speech, just watch what you say. Me personally, it's like, hey, they can't end it soon enough. It's like you get to a point where a man gets tired of playing the game, and that's when things get real. I don't know how many other people feel that way, but with the Lord of War reference, yeah, man, Lord of War is an amazing movie, man. I have to admit, man, that movie is up there. That movie, it's on a level where some of the stuff in that movie, and especially who was it? Ethan Hawke, very good actor. I'm surprised they don't nominate him for government office or something, because he's such a good actor. When Cage told him, he said, look, let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get a knock on that door. There's going to be a man that outranks you. He's going to commend you, say everything, whatever. You get a promotion, great. But in the end, I will be released. You'll protest, whatever, I will be released. Next thing you know, boom, knock on the door. Military brass pulls him out, hands him. This was the most gangster part of the movie, when he handed him a briefcase full of money, being like, here, go buy the stuff and sell it. Start doing your weapons selling. And he explained it to Hawke, Ethan Hawke. Yeah. It just, I think about it it really, you have to really, all these actors and actresses, I think it's all nepotism. They're all related to someone. Alexis says Nick Cage is interesting. He starred in Snake Eyes and Lord of War. Wonder if he's BP'd. He's possible, man. It's possible. That Snake Eyes movie, bro. You guys, I can't even believe the stuff that you guys were telling me was said in there. I was telling a friend of mine, and it was, yeah, it's shocking. Jordan Maxwell says it's something to do with policy. It's not for the people. That I can see that being real, man. Another cool thing about the ending of Lord of War, the Interpol agent woke up about the reality of the world and realized he was just a puppet. Yeah. Yeah, that movie was, I have to admit, man, that's up there. Matter of fact, I might have to do another poll in the community post and put Lord of War. Lord of War is just on another level of I mean, that movie, I got to hand it to it. That's a really, really good movie. But Trump with the and go to jail. So did Trump get convicted? So he was convicted in 24, May 30th, 24, on all counts, they were saying, becoming the first U.S. president to be convicted of a felony. The first U.S. president known, because, I mean, come on, if you can't see through the illusion, it's like, kind of like I think Norm Macdonald had said it before he passed. He goes, wow, he goes, can you believe that? The good guys won every time in the history books. It was always the good guys. What are the chances of that? What are the chances of that? But the first law of stupidity lets us know about that. We always underestimate the amount of stupid people they are. And the second law, stupidity is independent of every other characteristic a person has. But as far as crime of, it was saying his victory, his sentencing was temporarily suspended. I mean, this is just, yeah, none of them. You can't, I don't think there's any president. And when you look at all of the wars, you know, the murder, the ending of life during war falls directly on the leader. I mean, it fell on Stalin, right? Fell on Hitler, right? But magically, none of that fell on the other people. It was like, nah, you know, let's call it something different. Let's call it something different. Don't call it that. Don't call it that. You know, Alexis says, if this was a serious country, George Bush would have been living the rest of his life in jail for the millions of Iraq and hundreds of U.S. soldiers killed. Yeah, yeah. That I'm surprised. Like, this to show you how zombie it was back then. Not only I agree with you on that, in my opinion. He got a second term in the presidency, and nobody batted an eye. It went from Bush to Obama, and then to Trump. And it was so crazy because once Trump got in, what do we see? Tiki torch. We saw insecurity. We saw insecurity, male insecurity, just the way we seen with JD Vance and stuff, crying about something, you know, and he's married. He's not married to the typical wife that a guy like that would be married to. Well, I'm surprised people haven't said too much about that, but they probably keep it under wraps because, you know, Trump has that strong clan type following, which, not to say that Biden wasn't. To me, it was kind of like he was a closet racist, just undercover bigotry. When you look at his earlier days and some of the stuff that he said in certain on certain videos, it's kind of horrible. But then when you look at what some presidents have said on many things, it's kind of horrible. Alexis says Obama did absolutely nothing after Bush. He kept doing what Bush was doing. Yeah, man. I'm glad you see it. A lot of people don't see it, man. I remember people were chanting, yes, we can, and all of this. And I'm looking at them like, you vote? It's like, when somebody tells me that they vote, I just get quiet, man. There's not really much to say. I can't even begin to say anything because I know the level of zombie. I just put a video out in the video section and in the short section about the zombie voting thing, about the political zombie, to where it just, man. And check this out. Trump, now I'm looking this up, NPR. I think that's National Progressive Radio. Trump gets unconditional discharge sentence for felony cases. So he gets felony cases, many felonies, right? Gets an unconditional discharge for his criminal conviction in New York, meaning he will not face fines, prison, or this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say, or any other penalty. So he's not facing fines, prison. So he got convicted. So what is this saying? So what is it saying? That he did that 34 felony counts for falsifying business records. So lying on business records, which of course most likely leads to stealing, to conceal a payment to an adult film star. Man, this is like, you got to be kidding me. You have to be, and it's not kidding. It's like when I see these people that were following him, like, I mean, look at the what was it, the January 6th thing years ago when he I mean, what type of so-called leader does something like that? It doesn't that have to do with crime and punishment, man? Christ of her, good to see you, brother. Absolutely, brother. Alexa says the MAGA zombies thought Trump was different due to the court going after him. Man, the fact that you had people buying red hats and wearing that, and remember, red hat, remember the words, right? The words. You take the letters red hat, and those words, right? If you take hat and put it in front of red, what does it spell? Hatred. Right? So it's like a subliminal thing that that really had me, you know, when I thought about it, I was like, wow, that is really, really deep. The fact that red hat, if you just switch the words, hat red, you put it together, spells hatred. What did you have from a lot of the people that supported that movement and still does? You get a lot of hatred. You had these people burning effigies of Obama, and it wasn't because of really the stuff he did. It was because of the way he looked. This is a serious problem in America, in the world in general, when you look at it. But for some reason, we have groups of people that think it doesn't exist. That thinks it does. I mean, what type of mental thing? The red hat, the hatred, you know, the whole MAGA thing. I mean, MAGA, it always reminded me of the word maggot, like a maggot for some reason. Maggots, like those little worms that come out of dead flesh, like the fly lays an egg to create maggots that eat the dead flesh and then pupate or whatever it is into new flies, but basically maggots is basically what it is. Yeah, it really is, man. Yeah, it's this is alarming, man. It just, you know, when I think about some of the stuff that's hidden within our language, and then like the stream's name, crime and punishment, man. This is the amount of crimes, the Jesse Butler thing. They just found this star, this pretty girl. They found her body, like searching for something else. Some guy just like bucked off at this delivery driver because she was black. I mean, it was really sad. But, you know, you got people that will constantly, and this is what I noticed when they say, well, there's more crime in the inner cities and I'm like, well, wait a second. We're not talking about that. It dismisses the other crimes when people say stuff like that. Oh, well, the percentage, there's only so many percentage of these people that commit really? Well, when you got guys like Jesse Butler and other people getting off for essays and attempted. I mean, he strangled the girls. Anybody can look it up. Jesse Butler, you can look it up, and it's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable to think about, like how what is, and just the way the guy that was caught behind the dumpster when he only got 6 months. That is crazy. And he only did 3, I think, out of that. I forgot his name. They posted his swim times. This is the type of thing that we live in. This is the type of insanity. The fact that this guy was caught essaying a girl behind a dumpster that was unconscious, and they posted his swim. Look at how good, look at what a fast swimmer he is. I mean, this is horrible. Horrible. That's crime and punishment. Jamal, good to see you, man. He says, gonna join once it's one stream. Gonna join once stream is over. If you don't mind, I gotta show you a Matrix scene. All right, cool, man. Definitely. Yeah, man. They're all criminals. Nazi. Yeah, Nazi. You definitely, yeah, you're keeping it real. Yeah. Holy smokes, bro. I just saw that pop up. It didn't pop up before. When I saw Christopher's, absolutely, yeah, it wasn't there. It must have just, maybe there's a delay or something on that. But yeah, I figured I'd stream a little early today. I was kind of tired. I didn't get a chance to really edit. I made those 2 videos. I don't know if I'm going to make too many more of the zombie videos, even though I have some footage, but to put them together, and I had to write the script, or then sometimes I just read it off. The human origins thing is just much more shocking, and it's very different. I know people. I'm used to people critiquing, criticizing, so hey, it's not a big thing, but it does go into some areas of what some would call forbidden research. Kind of like what we talk about with the crime and punishment, man. It's definitely coming along. Today, I don't feel like I made much progress because I put out those 2 videos. It's been kind of cold in New York. I got to take care of a few things every winter. It's just like, oh, brother. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just, when you start looking at things, it's really, it really gets to a point where you wonder why. You really wonder why sometimes. But the video I did put up, matter of fact, and the book, it is coming along good. I'm very happy when I work on the chapters to edit them. I am very happy, man. I kind of shock myself when I read through it, and I'm like, holy smokes, people are going to have so many questions. I think Sanctuary Seeker had asked me about Bro Sanchez. Now, I don't know if the guy will invite me on his show. I'm not sure of that, or any of these guys. I just, when I spoke with Scribe earlier today, I said I have to be in a place where if nobody invites me on their shows, I have to continue forward with my research, talk about it on this show, and go forward like that. There isn't any I need to get on there. It would be nice. It would be a surprise. We could have a good conversation because it goes against what anybody has really come forward with about their thoughts on human origins in a very, very scientific manner. So, when people say, well, what put you to, well, science, I wanted to know where we come from, a realistic explanation of where we come from. Everybody is giving me a belief, and that's okay. That's okay. But now when you got people giving me a belief, telling me it's scientific, like the evolutionists, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's leading to the world we see today. The zombie apocalypse of the mentally dead, where you can't even ask somebody a normal question, where we don't think of things like, oh, a president was elected, right? But he had been convicted of 34 felonies, didn't get a fine, didn't go to jail, faces no penalties. Then what is the law for? What is the law for? Is it just for us? I mean, that's like disheartening to a point. That's very disheartening. It really, when I think about the fact that he can openly say when he first ran, he doesn't pay taxes, he's smart. Let a civilian, let a regular citizen say that. Let an actor say that. You've seen what happened to Wesley Snipes and Lauryn Hill for the taxes, and what they do to Martha Stewart. Didn't Martha Stewart even got like 6 months, right? Old lady. They're putting old ladies in jail. It just, I mean, well, if they commit a crime, but magically this old man, Trump, because he's an old man, he's not a young man, he's not a middle-aged man, he's an old man. Some might say an old creepy man, does this and nothing happens. And you know what's funny is when with the adult film star, I don't know, was he married at the time? So that would be adultery too, that nobody talks about that. Let me see. Was Trump married at the time of I guess Stormy was her name. I mean, that's a weird yep. He was married to Melania, the suspicious looking wife. So he had an affair, and that wasn't a big nobody talked about that. No, it wasn't a big thing. So these guys, I mean, if you're going to betray the person you're sleeping with, then how could I ever expect you to be loyal to me? Not that any president would, because we're looked at as basically slaves, right? I guess that's too harsh of a word for some of the people that think their ancestors built this country, right? Because they don't want that reality to be like, look, just be quiet and pay your taxes, all right? Yeah. Your ancestors built the country. Pay your taxes. I mean, the fact that people can't even see that far, it just, it just really, a lot of them, man. But the thing is we do see some of them do time. I mean, Snipes did, I think, a couple of years. I think Lauryn Hill did a couple of months. Even though Martha Stewart, I don't know if you can consider her an actress. Maybe. So but I agree with you, Christopher. I agree with you. They're very much. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna keep on it, bro. Definitely, bro. It's I figured, I said, let me do this, see what happens, and then maybe hang out for an hour and then go back to editing. Because sometimes if I go, I mean, I'll go late. Tomorrow night is New Year's Eve, so I think I would, I wasn't going to do a show late, but I figure I'll do it. Scribe was telling me, I figure by the time I go live, it's already going to be past midnight overseas, but, it's not even a big thing. Christopher says, all the prime ministers in the UK have had cheating on their on the wife issues. Wow, man. That's, thoughts on Al Capone going to jail for tax evasion. Man, when I think about that, it's like they couldn't catch the guy. Like, when I wonder about that, it's like, to me, it gives the illusion of law. It's sort of like, okay, you got a guy. Well, from what they said, Al Capone had opened up, I think it was food kitchens for people that didn't have food. So in a way, some people might say, well, he was the one that was, running numbers and all of this stuff that put them in a state of perpetual poverty, but also fed the people. The government does that. I mean, it's a tough one. On Al Capone going, I think it was basically I think it was a thing to like kind of push in their promotion of the Untouchables, Elliot Ness and stuff like that. I remember as a kid, people used to call the cops, I remember, the Ness and the Beast. Like when they would patrol, they would say, oh, it's the Beast or it's the Ness. And I didn't understand the Ness. And then I realized, oh, it's Elliot Ness. So they would call him the Ness. The Untouchables, just that name alone. Again, it reminds me of Trump getting 34 convictions and not getting one penalty at all. The Untouchables. So what does that say about everybody else? I had did a video many, many years ago on an old channel about that, about first lady, first family thing. I said, how does that make other people feel? It's like we're supposed to look at, so these people, open decadence, open decadence. I mean, the crime of basically just, I mean, if it can be such a thing, the crime of immaturity. I mean, cruelty is just, when they say that most people live a low grade depression, why? When you look at what government does to the citizen, I mean, you got a guy that's almost going to be a trillionaire, and then he tries to act like people should feel sorry for him. Personally, in my opinion, it just sounds like Elon Musk is a monster. Some of the stuff he said, I went on one stream and I asked the guy, I said, so why do you think Elon Musk is a racist, supremacist and stuff? And he gave some pretty good answers. And I was like, wow. And they're talking about the South Africa thing and everything. And it's sort of like, well, but Al Capone, yeah, I honestly, it's like there's so much other stuff. It's like, I think, doesn't Trump openly says he doesn't pay his taxes. He's smart. Nothing. That matter of fact, they applaud him. It's crazy how Anthony Gaspipe Casso, who was arrested in '93, was offered WITSEC and would have been released in '08, but still screwed up his case and got 13 life sentences plus 40 years. So he was offered what, like a witness protection? You're saying, that guy? I mean, if you can clarify that. I don't even remember the case. Let me see. Anthony Casso. Like, what did he do? Anthony Casso. He looks kind of like a mobster. So he was the American, nicknamed Gaspipe, underboss, Lucchese crime family, Italian-American mafia, regarded as a homicidal maniac. Holy smokes. So early crime, 19 hole, taking over. It's too much stuff to read right now, but I appreciate it, man. Yeah, this is too much stuff to read. If you got any type of a brief synopsis, yeah, wow. I mean, look at Goodfellas, the whole Goodfellas thing. It was a story about a snitch, right? And everybody loved it. The Scarface, they had some videos on the real guy and how, what happened. For some reason, Hollywood just always manages to mess it up somehow. Unless it's people trying to make a movie that they say usually is a flop at first, but then it becomes a cult classic like They Live, which they tried not to give it too much credit. The Thing, I think The Thing debuted when E.T. debuted, and that's what overshadowed it. And The Thing now is seen as one of the best horror flicks ever made. I mean, the fact that it had so much like it had like the sense of suspense, but also it was the idea of a life form being able to change into other things and mimic them exactly. I mean, down to almost the personality. It was really amazing, man, when I think about it. Alexis says Trump got convicted for 34 felony counts. And yeah, felony is a crime that imprisons you for a minimum of 1 year. He got convicted of 34 of those and did no time, no penalties, and no fines. And nobody cares. That's the crazy thing. Nobody wants to bring that up. Like, hey, you know what? Look at Biden's son with the laptop with China and all of that stuff. Nothing. If you talk about the words above the law, it's like, man, there ain't too many better descriptions than we see of what's going on. with that stuff. It just Dutch Blackpill says, I have a feeling the world map is not complete. It's like the Lord of the Rings, and human creation is like a book. We don't know what is created before. Yeah, man. There is, I would say, yeah, that makes sense. There's more continents. They're not going to show us everything on the map. We know when we look at the world map, it's like there's much more, I would say, to the world. Like in the vast gaps of what they would say is the oceans. I mean, and they're constantly trying to confuse us. You know, there's definitely something. That guy says Casso was the Luque boss, had all kinds of crimes. Saying he asked they asked him to testify for 15 years. Holy smokes! Wow, wow. That's yeah. I definitely think I definitely think there's more than just what we're seeing as far as the land masses. But the zombie short I put up, I have it here. It's about 2 minutes long. This is the full version. I'll play it for you guys. How people become zombies.
The zombie spectrum contains 8 main categories, all of which are meant to control the mind of someone who is unaware. Today, we'll focus on the 7th category, which is politics. Only those who can see through the illusion will notice how politicians transform while speaking to other zombies. But most of the time, they'll be able to contain it and regain their composure without losing support from their zombies. This type of behavior can be seen taking place on both sides. Whether it's red or blue, the zombie always slips out.
Ask not what America will do for you.
The population of voters don't care because they're just as zombified as the creature they worship that lurks behind the podium. Once it regains composure, it's business as usual, and the parade continues to drain the intelligence of anyone who believes them.
Which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve.
Then, the political zombies will search to infect others that still have the ability to think, but logic and reason will make them retreat. This forces them to break character and reveal themselves for what they really are. This type of behavior can be traced back in part to the 5th category in the zombie spectrum, school, where students are forced to sit and listen until they become zombified by the teacher. And if we interview the parents, one may realize that they themselves are zombies in disguise. They can play the role, but if you're a survivor who knows where to look, you'll begin to notice what's hiding just beneath the surface. They push their children to follow zombified teachers until that final day of graduation approaches.
I finally graduated.
The modern-day graduate becomes someone devoid of critical thought, released into the wild to roam as just another zombie of society.
Yeah, that's first video uploaded now since I've started back the channel, and 2 shorts are up. I broke down the first part of it in a short, and one of the other ones. Derek, man, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. Definitely love the channel pick. Where is it from? The channel pick, which one? If you're referring to the avatar, I had made that a couple of years ago. You know how people wear a tinfoil hat? I figured, I'm just going to just put the whole tinfoil over it. Yeah, I put the whole tinfoil over the face, and then the glasses were silver at first, and then I said, you know what? Let me make the lenses in there. Appreciate that, man. Thanks. Yeah. I just went full all out beyond the tinfoil hat, just entirely covered in it. The yeah, man. It's it definitely. I had the other short here because I was just making a cup of tea, and this was the other when I had played it before, but this was the short of the Schoolhouse Zombie.
Just believe what they tell you.
Just grabbing my tea, but yeah, I gotta start making some other shorts. So give me like a second or two. In the Matrix, yeah, man. I was looking for some other ones too. Like they had another Matrix one where the numbers come forward a little. I was gonna put some space age stuff too for the background as well. Thanks, man. Yeah, I have a couple already. I have some here that I will like the one with I have the one for the medical one with the guy laughing. And then I have other ones that I will blend that into. And yeah, man, just the basic peppermint tea with a little bit of maple syrup, because I used to just drink it without anything, and then I started using a little maple syrup, and then yeah, just the peppermint tea, maple syrup, sometimes coffee, coffee zombie still. Christopher says, I like it. Appealed to me highly regarding the tinfoil avatar. Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, at first when I had it up, not many people had said anything about it. I thought they would, maybe, understand it like when I went on other shows. Uh, but yeah, they just, because I was trying to say, hey, people wear a tinfoil hat. This is taking it to the next level, just totally, covered with it. And yeah, maximum doubt, doubting things to the max, and just basically yeah. It's what's funny is with the Trump thing, the crime and punishment and everything. Wow, thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. And yeah, a friend of mine, I had asked him, I said, hey, a couple years ago, I haven't seen him in a while. He was like a really high level computer experts. I did hear about that, man. JFK's great granddaughter yeah, that's what's up to JF. Something is going on with that, man. I think his son, right? His son was ended in a plane crash or something like that. And just, yeah, something's going on with that, man. There is some beef with that family, that somebody's beefing with them that's in the shadows, that I guess won't allow themselves to even be printed in the paper or on the media. And that's the type of stuff that I try to tell people about, that the stuff you won't even hear, that's when you are thinking in between the lines, like how we say, wow, that's kind of odd. There's never been a president that went to jail, and like, wow, what's the chances of that? They're all good guys, right? It just, the fact that guys that, what they assassinate Lincoln, and these other guys, Hinckley Jr., the guy that they say would, if anybody could even, if they really think it was a real assassination attempt with the Trump thing, I mean, that was just rallying. I mean, it was like another part of the circus, and all these guys magically acted alone, right? So they just were just angry and acted alone. They weren't like, even with the Charlie Kirk thing and all, just, hey, that's the only guy. That's the only guy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. David Rockefeller. It just, wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. The evil, it really makes me wonder, man. It really makes me wonder with that stuff. The fact that, yeah, JFK's great granddaughter, there were a few other things too, that I was looking up, but that Jesse Butler case, man, that is like such a brutal, if anybody gets a chance to look that up, it's really, it's sad, man. It's really sad that they're like, oh, he could have faced up to 78 years, and this is like, so, and then he was 18. They tried to say, oh, well, he's a youthful, youthful offender, so it's not it shouldn't, we don't want to charge him that bad. It's like, okay, what did he do? Well, he raped, two young girls, and he tried to end them. And that's the guy you're trying to let off lightly? Nobody in the country, you know what they're talking about? Rappers having disagreements. This is the mentality. This is the machine. People talking about Nicki Minaj being a sellout or something, which, I mean, really? So you didn't know that from the beginning? All type of gossip instead of the Jesse Butler thing. And he's convicted of SA. And it has me to the point where I'm like, the zombie apocalypse of the mentally just gone, out to lunch, on autopilot. Yeah, it just who was it? Colonel Ollie North back in the 80s or something, with Ronald Reagan, and he was, what they said, something about funding the Contras, which I guess Contras, how Scribe and other guys say it, the Contras. I remember that game, man. I used to like that game, Contra. I guess it's Contra, but great video game. Glad I don't play video games anymore, though, because they were very time consuming. Yeah, Henry Kissinger, man. Oh my goodness. It's like that dude. Oh my goodness. To 100. How? It's like, how much adrenochrome can a person ingest? I mean, it really makes me wonder. It really does. It just, I don't know, man. It's crazy. It really is, when I think about it. Yeah, and McConnell and all of those guys, man. It's like, what is going on? But with crime and punishment, we see in the country, every day I can look up and find a whole bunch of crazy stuff that's going on, to where it indicates a severe problem with mentality in America, just in America alone. When you look at what some of the people have done, it's just like, you got to be crazy. There was a guy that went in, and I think he ended the mother and the daughter. The guy in Florida who just ended his wife, tried to end the stepdaughter, and then ended himself over a football game, like a Monday night football game or something like that. That's crazy. And nobody thinks about this. It's like, wait, this is a serious problem throughout the country. And then you got groups of people, most of them are ex-MAGA or full-blown MAGA right now, that any kind of crime that happens, they'll only point toward one type of people, and they'll dismiss anything, like with the guy Monday. Oh yeah, but he's not the majority, and that dismisses the problem. It's a problem that spans across every type of person, gender, and age. So it goes beyond ethnicity, gender, and age. So to say, oh no, it's just this or these, it's like, well, yeah, you got high rates of crime, but when you look at the overall picture, we have a problem in the country with crime and punishment. It really, I figured Brianne Coles would show up anytime you mentioned, I don't know, was it the word bigot that summoned you out of the grave or something like that? It's like, I mean, you got to be related to Red Lobster, the guy, because he was another troll, that it was an extremely insecure male. And I don't know what it is with you guys, man. I don't know if it's LDS or something like that, but that's a serious problem that you got, that you can't acknowledge that the country has a crime problem with people of all ethnicities. It's not just one ethnicity, man. Jesse Butler, Brianni Coles, looks like you. Just get that through your head. Get that through your head. Jesse Butler is your representation. The guy who ended himself, he ended his wife, he tried to end a stepdaughter. That guy looks like you, Brianni Coles, and your homeboy Archie Bunker and these other guys. And it's nothing against males who fit that category, because I got a lot of them that are good friends and family. But I would say to you that you're an embarrassment to them. Just the way that in the movie Crash, when Terrence Howard was in the car, I think Ludacris tried to carjack him and he managed to wrestle the weapon away. And he looked at him and he said, man, you embarrass me. You embarrass yourself. And that is an embarrassment. And I guess Brianni Coles would be okay because both those men are black, right? But if they were white, magically, you're not even going to mention anything about them doing the crime or the problem or what they've done. You'll say, but these other guys do more crime. That's one of the most childish, immature responses that I hear. And just, it's really sad. And to think that Brave and these other, I mean, when you're in your 70s and you still got your head buried in the sand, man, haven't left your state, come on, man. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. It's like, that's really, really immature. But, when somebody thinks, that, because they're older, they're wise. No, fools grow old too. Even a fool can grow old. What we do here is we think, and thinking sometimes makes us not really in the best of favor with people. Because like we said, we're in the zombie apocalypse of the mentally inept. Crime and Punishment today on the topic, and it's not basically Dostoevsky's book, even though he tried to write with some depth or whatever. But I mean, I don't know, man. They push those books. It's like he ain't even really such a great writer when you think about it. But again, when you got people pushing it, Jordan Peterson, I mean, I don't know if must have said that word 1,000 times. I mean, they pushed that guy up to the top. Again, his daughter is the embarrassment. That's his embarrassment, basically. Cosmetic vampire. And I remember one time, because she basically got on because of her father writing on his, And it just... Let me see. CD says, MD, I'm hoping you live forever because we need you on this earth forever. Brother, I thank you for that, bro. But you know something, man? Every day I get up, I'm like, man, I'm here still? It's like a chore at this point. It really is, man. I mean, that's why I would like to produce this book and then leave that and just, I mean, hopefully I just fade away after that, man. It gets so tough. Everybody I ever loved is gone. And, there's a power in that too. I've always been kind of, in a way, fearless. And I think that guys saw that a few years ago when guys like Brianni Cole and them tried to threaten me. And, I know his type already. So it's like, and not to say all guys like him are bad, because there's a purpose, everything has a purpose. But I think they realize there comes, a point in most of the time, it comes in a point in people's life where you can't intimidate them anymore. It's like, what more are they going to do? Drew Ma, man, thank you, brother, for the support, bro. I appreciate it, man. I think back when I met Drew on his show, he had a show before me on Blog Talk Radio. I had a YouTube channel back then. It wasn't this channel, or the other channel. It was a channel that I first started. I still have it. I might eventually do something with it. Still has over 2,000 subscribers. But I just, when Google bought YouTube, it changed a lot of stuff, and I left for a while. Went on Drew's show on Blog Talk Radio, and it was great, man. It was really great, man. Met him, a few other people, and it's been a long journey. That was back. Like 2011. Yeah, it's been a while. And my first interview on there was 2010. Funny enough, the guy saw my videos on YouTube where I was teaching with maps and stuff. And he said, he goes, "I'd like to have you on my show." And I didn't even know what Blog Talk Radio was. And it was a call-in show, so you could call in with your phone. And I spoke with him for about an hour and a half, I think. And I think that was it. Yeah, because his again, his crowd was geared toward a certain ethnicity, like a singular ethnicity. And I don't like that. I like different people. So if somebody has all one group and all another group, yeah, I'll talk with them. But I'm like, look, man, I like to see a little more open-mindedness on all sides, because we can learn from each other. There's a fact that think tanks, when you have a think tank and you have different people in the think tank, it actually is more productive, because you have people putting input in from different angles, as opposed to having think tanks of only a singular ethnicity, whether it be all black, all white, all Chinese or whatever. But when it's all one, when it's a mono type of think tank, you're limited, because people are thinking very similar. And to really get the power of a think tank is the diversity of ideas. And those diversity of ideas seem to come more from diverse people. What they say, diversity is the spice of life. It seems to really be so. And yeah, I didn't know about that guy was. Yeah, I don't know about the those overseas guys. I try to keep it at a minute. I mean, you already know how it is, Cope Approach. It's like 34 years, man. Shoot, I mean, 34 years is a long time in any place. That's crazy. That is crazy. But when I tried to speak out against that, guys, once again, they started to get angry. And when I try to let guys know, like, look, man, you maybe should look before you leap. Don't listen to these guys. And Alexis has started some past. Just, oh man, you got me to highlight it. I didn't. Oh man, I mean, the one that needs to be away, Koala. I'm surprised how he's evading. He's probably just crawling through the crevices as usual. Yeah, that's I mean, just looking at that whole group is embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. The Passport Bros, which I shouldn't even said that. Oh man, I try not to say it, but they are an embarrassment before they even have a passport. So when I look at people like that behave that way, we don't even want that behavior in America. But to see guys buffooning on camera in other countries, it's like, we don't want that ghetto behavior here. But yet they're going to go and parade it. And of course, people are not going to want that. Of course, they're not going to want that. I mean, it just, it's messed up, man. It's like, one, the desperation. That's a sad thing right there. Desperation doesn't bring good things. The other thing is, why would you want the worst of a country to go over to another country? And of course, we know they're going over there to exploit people because they're poor. And if anything, these guys coming from the backgrounds that they come from, if they had any maturity, they would not seek to do that, because it has been done to them in this country. So instead of being a mature man, they continue to be immature males. And what they wouldn't get away with over here, they go and they try to get away with somewhere else. And things happen, and now we see where it's at. Now, and that's just this guy. I heard in Colombia, they were like really retaliating. I think a few people got ended over there. We saw what happened with Koala getting scoped, but what is it? The first two scopes are just a warm up, bro. Yep, losers back home. Thank you, Christopher. That's exactly. Yep, they call them LBH. That is exactly what they're at. That's what they are. That's what they are, man. And it just, I try to stay off the topic because, I mean, it's a volatile topic. I don't know what it is, but they're always like, they just, man, very juvenile. I mean, when I looked at some of the videos back a year or two ago, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm surprised people in the country, I'm surprised people weren't waiting for them because they're targets, one. And two, Japan fought back against that type of stuff, putting signs up that you can't be acting like a circus character on their railway systems. Because they used to do that in the New York City subway. Sometimes I used to get into some serious confrontations because guys would be flipping around like a fish out of water, trying to, throw money at me or give me money because they're doing acrobats on the change, but dirt flying off their shoe. It's like what's, people trying to get to work, taking the subway. They're not taking the subway for fun. And you see these guys, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I totally understood what that guy was saying in the movie Crash when he said, "You embarrass me. You embarrass yourself." And that's what I think the so-called bros do. Same thing with the Klan and them. I'm surprised people don't look at them who could be mistaken as a Klan member and say, "Look, man, you embarrass me, man. You embarrass yourself." Just the way we see the ghetto behavior. It's embarrassing, man. When are people going to mature? And when I ask that question, it answers itself because we are kept, or something is trying to keep us in a perpetual state of immaturity. Like I said before, oh, look, the most important thing is one guy is going to be trying to punch another guy in the face. And this is a great, this is like the most monumental thing since sliced bread, man. The fact that Mike Tyson is still being celebrated for punching people in the face 30 years ago is just ridiculous, man. It's just ridiculous. You talk about keeping, and he's a very mature person. When you talk to him, you start to see like, wow, this guy's much deeper than just a boxer because he's been through so much in his life. Nobody really seems like they want to know that. They just want to, use him kind of. It's really sad, man. It's really sad. I mean, even when he was doing champ, it was like they were using him. It's like, so look at Muhammad Ali, right? The eloquence of how he spoke, the vocabulary, the cadence and how he talked. The guy was basically professor level university. I mean, this was a genius. And what do? They manipulated him into the ring. And next thing you know, you see how he ended up. It was so sad. This guy was a university level professor, naturally, without having to get a college degree. That talent was very high level, and they just crumble it up and throw it away. They play the race cards so hard on that. It was sad when I look at that. And not many people noticed that about Ali, about how articulate. He is very articulate. What's this guy doing in the ring? You don't want to try to sacrifice or cause any trauma to this man's brain. He's too great of a thinker. Now you had other guys, they didn't say too much. And I don't even think they should have been in there because it's a humane thing at this point. You don't want to see guys, I don't know if Ken Norton's still alive, but when he was talking on interviews, man, you see some of these guys today that talk on the interviews and they are not the same. I mean, the horror stories of that with what has happened to some of these guys with boxing and even MMA, it's frightening. It's frightening because these guys have a lot of talent and they're just thrown to the wolves. It's really it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one when I think about it. It just yeah, man. It's like, what's a man really to do? There's not really just row your boat gently down the stream merrily, because life is just a dream. But Crime and Punishment, trying to stick to it, to go through some of the stuff. That thing that happened, with JFK's the great granddaughter, man. That is like, that popped up when I was making the stream, and I was just like, holy smokes! And then this young, I don't know if she's a model or something, but they were looking. I forgot her name, but they just found her body. The guy, the bigot that shot the lady, they say because she was black. I think she had her son in the delivery truck with her. It was really sad, man. It's really sad. I mean, people let this thing get to them a little too far, man. Yeah, it really is, man. Christopher, it really is. Boxing is blunt trauma for entertainment. It's so sad, man. It's junior high school mentality. Jimmy's fighting Bobby after school, everybody. And the smart kids are the ones who get on the bus and go home. They don't stay to watch the fight. Those are the smart ones that say, you know what? I don't even care who won, who lost, whatever. I don't want to know about it. I want to learn and I want to grow from this. But the majority of people tend to fall into the category of the crowd. And what do they say? If you find yourself agreeing with the crowd, it's time to stop and reflect. If you ever find yourself agreeing with the crowd, please stop and reflect and analyze and say, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing with this? Kind of like the crowd not caring about the Jesse Butler thing and all of that, or some of the other things that have happened, which basically, to me, when I look at them, I'm like, this is and some boxing, some boxing is staged. There is, but remember, you got guys that are in there that they will have fights where they say, okay, it's like they unleash one guy on another guy, and they know he's going to win. Because, like we were saying, it's very fixed. Instances would be guys that train. Like, look at the Max Schmeling versus Joe Louis, right? He watched tapes of Joe Louis, and he was smart enough not to mention what he saw. He said, oh, I see something. And they're like, oh, and he's like, no, I noticed something. And it was that when Joe Louis made a certain movement, he would drop, I think, his left hand. So he knew that when he makes that movement, boom, he's open to a shot right there. And that's how he knocked out Joe Louis. He did basically what was thought to be impossible. Now, word must have gotten out. And then the second fight, Joe Louis just destroyed him, put him in a hospital. I mean, badly. And this was during the Hitler thing, thinking that he could make superior people. And what happened was that after Schmeling lost, because him and Joe Louis I think came to see him when he was in the hospital, so they created a friendship. And this was let me see, this was Max Schmeling. This was back, holy smokes, this was like in 36. So because I remember it was around the World War I, World War II time, because they put Max Schmeling when he lost into the war. Divine Hazel, good to see you. Always a pleasure. Always. they put him in the war, and I think they made a movie about it where all the soldiers, Americans, were trying to get Schmeling and get his dog tags, and he survived the war. That's the amazing thing. Hitler tried to throw him to the wolves. He came back leading the pack. I got to give Max Schmeling a lot of credit, and even more credit if the story's true that he came to America. He became rich because remember, Coca-Cola, the Nazi version of Coke is Fanta. So when it was like against the law or something where they couldn't, weren't allowed to sell, during the war to the opposition. So they just changed the name to Fanta. And Max Schmeling, I think, became rich off of some type of production or promotion of that. Joe Louis was almost like broke because he gave away a purse of winnings, and the IRS came and said, you owe us tax on that. So that's what made him fight, I think, Rocky Marciano. Basically, it seemed like he had to take a dive because they just couldn't take this guy who was of a different descent being the champ, the brown bomber. That's what they used to call Joe Louis. I mean, Joe Louis was extremely light-skinned. They call him the brown bomber because he was knocking guys out. And Schmeling, I think, came back to the hood searching for Joe as a friend. I mean, it's an amazing story when you look at it. It's an amazing story with Joe Louis and Max Schmeling, but it's not really known a lot because it shows two people that are different from different backgrounds that look different that were friends when everybody else was trying to put them against each other. And they became friends over all of that. They knew that they were basically on the plantation. But they said, okay, we're on the plantation, but that doesn't mean we got to hurt each other. That doesn't mean we got to hate each other. Alexis says, funny how right after the war, Fanta was imported to US and Europe almost as if they won. Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Yep, exactly. Yeah. Yep. As if they won, man. As if they won. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. The crowd, man. The crowd. Anytime, like when I look at YouTube, YouTube is an experiment. It's a great experiment. It shows us a lot. Like when you look through some of the feed and stuff and see, you can get the vibe. You can get the vibe of the world almost on it, but definitely of the country you're in or whatever thing you have logged in. Because if you have different accounts, you can see it'll give you different like live streams. Because sometimes I'll just click the thing on top that says live and it shows you everybody. I would think it shows you everybody that's live, but it doesn't. It shows you who's live according to your watch history. Because if you sign out and you just log in, if you don't log in and you press it, different stuff comes up. So you can definitely test the way that they feed stuff to you. And it's just amazing that it's called a feed. So did you check your news feed? Did you check the live feed? And it's just like, they're feeding people's mind certain things. And you are what you eat. So more than just being careful about what we eat physically, what we eat mentally is just as important, sometimes even more important, because what we eat mentally will determine what we eat physically. So the mind, where the mind goes, the body follows. So looking at stuff and saying, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a good idea if I start making better choices with my food, but also refraining. Because sometimes refraining from certain things can help you more. Because they say, well, okay, if you eat something that's not good, and they say, well, I'll eat something that's good. Well, yeah, that's good. But if you stop eating the stuff that's not good, you're going to see a lot of benefits from that. What you won't do, or what we don't see, that really kind of has a very, very strong power to it, to where it's like, Fanta is a German word for fantasy. Wow, I didn't know that, man. Thanks, Dutch Black Belt. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, but a lot of people don't like to hear about togetherness, man. That's it. It's like, I think when I see the prejudice and stuff, I notice that it's fear. It's people that are just afraid that once they can get over the fear, they start to actually be pretty cool. They start, I remember when I was in the military in Texas, and a guy told me, he goes, "Look, man," he goes, "we drive around Texas off of Fort Hood." He goes, "and I'm going to wave to people in their yards." He was from Louisiana, this guy, John Huey. Cool dude. And Cajun. And he would wave, and this, lady would be in a yard, she waved back. And I was like, wow. And he's like, yeah, man, people are friendly, man. Because I was coming from New York, and it's like people grow up with attitudes here, and it's not cool. Sometimes I've met people that have gotten over it, and they're more mature. But yeah, man, that learning how to get along with people, man, that should be a class. That should be something that's taught, to where, like, I remember my friend who's an MD, he said in Japan, he goes, they have a class, a moral class, where they tell the kids, why is it wrong to steal? And people would have the answer. That's an important class to have, especially in America. I mean, that's an important class. Why is it good to help people? And people give answers. Say, okay, do you feel better when you do this or this? Do you feel better when you smile at people? Was it like it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown? Simple stuff that we can look at. But when somebody, I think Alexis had mentioned it earlier about the children, and Drew is a big proponent of homeschooling. He's ahead of the curve. I think that is something that's very important to teach. Is like to explain and to talk about morality, about goodness, because we're sure enough see the badness. I mean, what were they saying? 20 years ago, they were saying before a kid is 8 or 10, they see like so many thousand violent things on television. How many violent images does a child see before the age of, say, 10, right? So we'll say 10 and see if AI, right? So what the exact numbers vary. Of course, they're not going to have this. They'll have numbers on something senseless, but at least we can get a ballpark figure. So the average child by the age of 10 will not just see thousands, but they're saying tens of thousands of violent acts on TV alone. On TV alone. With figures suggesting over 40,000 simulated endings and 200,000 violent acts by the age of 18. That's crazy. That is crazy. The significant exposure to violence in shows and games before middle school, leading to risks like increased aggression and desensitization. And the high exposure, the American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, notes that the average American child sees at least 40,000 simulated endings. Wow, that is crazy. That is crazy. Early exposure, oh my goodness, like SA and all of that stuff. This is nuts. This is nuts, man. I didn't know it increased so much. So it definitely increased. And they're saying do violent cartoons, and that fits the topic, crime and punishment. This is like, it's like, wow. Divine says the United States as a whole tells you what not to do, but never explains to you why. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Timbo, good to see you. He says, that's a great point, MD. When I visited family in the Caribbean, my uncle wondered why all these American movies we watch had so much violence and red rum. Yeah. Great word from The Shining. It, you know, you're absolutely right on that, man. You're absolutely, the Caribbean, the people in the Caribbean are much more relaxed and cooler. I've been to a few islands, DR, of course, Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, wonderful places. And yeah, I have noticed that people think more over there. Well, they did. I haven't been there for decades. Yeah, American TV, and I would think, you know, on other parts of the world too, Australia, Canada, UK, certain parts of Western Asia do have these movies, and this is why I liked movies like Gattaca, because it required minimal special effects and had a message that meant something that could be relatable to today. Other movies like not sitcoms, but series, Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits. The Outer Limits was raw. You know, they just came on the scene like, listen, we control your TV, we control the horizontal and the vertical. I was like, these guys, the imagination on some of the sci-fi from the 50s and the 60s were just, it was mind-blowing. Outer Limits had some really deep stuff. And then of course, One Step Beyond was kind of one step beyond. They had that whole special on the mushrooms and stuff where they went to Mexico and was testing whether psychedelic mushrooms could enhance psychic power. That episode, and that was based on real stuff. So they were going on another level. Outer Limits had some good one, man. They had some good ones. But Twilight Zone, I think, is still my favorite. The Monsters Live on Maple Street is what a lot of people need to watch, especially in America. The Monsters Live on Maple Street. That episode of the Twilight Zone, epic. To Serve Man, another one. Eye of the Beholder, another one. It was definitely some great stuff. Definitely. I mean, the lessons in it. You know, Eye of the Beholder was like deep because it had such a great twist. It was shocking. To Serve Man, when they found the book that the aliens had, and they're like, oh my goodness, to serve man, and the ego kicks in. Well, of course they think it's to serve man like as a servant or a slave. But then when they find out people are going to the planet and realize, well, wait a minute, one of the ladies that researched, she said, wait a minute, that we've deciphered something, right? Because first it was the title. They decided, the title says To Serve Man. Oh, wow. Ooh, right? Then when they started to decipher the book, people were already flying off to the planet, talking about, it's supposed to be like a paradise planet. And the lady comes out and she goes, wait, don't get on that ship. And she goes to the book, the rest of the book, To Serve Man, cookbook. And then the music, it just, To Serve Man was off the Richter scale. It was like, wow, it's a cookbook. It's a cookbook. And homeboy was already getting on the ship. They put the alien pushed up the steps. It was like, nah, man, you on your way. It's like to the dinner plate. Jose, what's up, man? Good to see you, man.
Hey, what's going on, brother? You doing good?
Saying, man.
Yeah.
Anything? Any news on the crime and punishment, or any ideas? Or I don't know.
Yeah, I got back from this. Give me 1 second.
All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, a lot of violence, and I mean, look at when it's rare where you see people working together. Like, what was it? The video games. That one video game, Abe's Odyssey, and then it went into Abe's Exodus, and it was all about saving people. It talked about the environment as it went, I think, to Xbox and stuff like that. You don't really see too many games like that. Like Flappy Bird was okay, you had to evade things. So it wasn't about breaking things, it wasn't about hurting anyone or shooting anything. It was a different type of game. Or like a maze, like Pac-Man, you're evading the ghost.
Yeah, but when you get the cherry, I think it was, I forgot what it was that you ate. Then you turn into the form that you would then eat the ghost.
Oh yeah, the power pellet.
Something, yeah, I forgot what it is. I forgot what it is in the game. I know it's something that it like glows, and then if you snap. Oh no, it was the power pellet, right? Because it would be around the
Yeah,
track.
yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, now I'm remembering it. Yo, that's crazy. So yeah, you would go around, and then that would get your awareness. It would do
Mhm.
great for like child's reaction time, and those games. Those arcade games were crazy.
Yeah.
Like you think of, yeah,
Look, who was it? One lady, I think it was, they made a good point of I think I had the found it. Wow. It's a picture that I saved. And Marcus, I don't know if Marcus was the first person that said it. Marcus Brigstock, but I remember hearing a woman say it too. He said, if Pac-Man had affected us as kids, we'd all be running around in dark rooms, munching pills, and listening to repetitive electronic music. Now, Pac-Man came out in 1980. By 1990, people were in dark rooms and raves, eating pills, listening to repetitive electronic music.
yeah, yo, when you hit that story, that one's crazy. That one's deep. That one's really deep, man. For
Thanks.
real.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's like holy smokes. We are in, it's like, so it shows you just what an influence it can have. Mark, good to see you, man.
Yeah, Mark.
It's a game you got to check out, Abe's Odyssey, definitely, man. BP says Portal 1+2. I don't know which one is that. I'll look it up. Yeah, but the statistics on the children with seeing violent images, how does violent media affect child development, right? So this is
Flashing
by the National Institute of Health. Screen violence, a real threat to mental health. It
screen violence.
decreases, huh?
You said screen, SCREEN space
Mhm.
violence. That
Yeah.
one. Okay. So when violence is projected on a monitor, I got it. All right.
And it says decrease empathy causes and caused increase aggressive thoughts, anger, and aggressive behavior. That's crazy. That's really, and people don't see, a problem with it.
Yeah. You remember that the development, I think, of like the video game industry when they got to like games being rated R, and then they started having like in-home consoles above, besides the computer games that they had, like shoots and stuff, that they started having more popularity of games of violence and like graphic things, right? And you
Mhm.
had the pushback. You had the people, the moms, the soccer moms, like, no, I don't want my kids playing Grand Theft Auto.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
We live in
It's,
a world. We live in the post Grand Theft Auto apocalypse of the mentally dead.
yeah, yeah. It really, I mean, it's so zombie, man. I don't even know what to say. It's at that level. It's at that level of zombie where
You can be crazy, man, and just acting impulse.
uh,
Like no.
this is the quote here. If Pac-Man
Oh,
had affected us as kids, we'd all be running around in dark rooms, munching pills and listening to repetitive electronic music. That is so true. That is so true. It's just like, thanks, Cope Approach. It's so true, man. It's and then to think about that, like, okay, we see that that played out to be basically true. And then we say, okay, well, what does, and Pac-Man was a non-violent, considered to be a non-violent video game. So what does the violent ones do? What did Mortal Kombat and stuff? I mean, it had to do something. Next thing you know, that brought in within a couple of years was the whole mixed martial arts thing. So it's like it fueled it to the next level where, I mean, there's been some stories that they try to suppress very well in the martial arts communities about people getting ended, stuff, you know, like a lot of stuff that people don't know about, like why they make fighters, like if they take a loss to a knockout, they can't fight for like sometimes 3 to 6 months, because if you're not fully healed and you get hit again, it could be fatal. And things like that have happened. Like, yeah. So, you know, that's another, I would wonder, I'd be like, well, why are they suspending this guy from fighting for so long? And it's like, because if he doesn't heal properly and he gets hit again, it could end him. And so it's like, when you look at that, you start to realize just how dangerous this type of stuff is with these fights that they have people doing. It's basically,
Yeah, I told you, man.
yeah,
Society bred out the Coliseum. You know, it's a matter of the spectacle, the everything. It's just the people coming in. It's a show. People are addicted to, you know, bread and alcohol and fights and violence and sex. It's all, you know what I mean? Like, it's all like what's being projected into people's minds like all the time through the rectangular, you know,
yeah. I
crystal
think you
ball.
can even make alcohol from bread, right?
Yeah, probably. I'm not surprised at that, right? It's like yeast, fermented yeast.
I think like a type of mead or something. Here, let me look it up.
Probably.
Can alcohol be made from bread? I think the Vikings used to make, yes. Bread naturally produces alcohol, ethanol, during fermentation. Whoa, that's something. So in other words,
Like people are addicted like bread zombies, and it's like for a reason because
yeah, I'm a
think
bread
about.
zombie. I ain't gonna lie.
So in a way, believe it or not, man, you're not sober. If you eat bread, guess what? You're not sober because anything that
Liquid, no, solid alcohol, right? It's
you
like
didn't see that coming, did you? You didn't.
fluffy alk.
Yeah.
Fluffy alk. Yo, bread is straight super addictive, bro. I mean, I could eat eggs without the bread, and it does taste good with other
You
stuff like onions and stuff, but the
want,
bread is
want that
so
bread.
bread drug.
When you toast it in the morning, or you just have it what like? What do you do?
Bread drug is definitely the bread drug. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, it says that during fermentation by yeast, though most evaporates during baking. Well, you're right. You can intentionally turn bread into strong alcoholic drinks like vodka or beer, using it as a base for fermentation. Wow. They say that there's a certain vodka made from potatoes that the people that become addicted to that, it's like highly addictive, like very hard to break the addiction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember this Russian chick. She used to tell me like that, you know, all like most of the guys in Russia are just drunks, and that, you know, on her part, and that they you know, by the time they're 50, they're done, because that's all they do. They grow up, you know, drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna definitely fuck the liver. I mean, oh my bad.
From a teenager, they doing, with the big hat on the head doing the dance.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I remember being young and a little reckless, right? Like drinking too much at a time. And then just like being like sick or whatever after that. But you think about a person, like consistently that it's every day, like from probably after breakfast or something. Who knows, man? Like some people,
Oh,
like
they starting young. It's like when
alcohol.
you start drinking at like 8, it's like
That's
12 is starting late.
whoa, that's
It's like
crazy.
you got what was it? I think in Germany, it was like if you could see over the counter or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was, I think it was like 14. 14, or I don't think it was 16, but yeah, it was something like 14, could have been. It was low like that. Well, when I remember a long time ago I think it was in the early 80s, before I could, drink, it was 18. So in the early 80s, it was 18, and I think it got switched to 21, like in the mid 80s.
Yeah, I mean, like either way, I mean, I would say once a young adult gets to 18 and they're like legally adult, whatever, they're gonna be at parties and it's better for like let's say their parent to introduce them
Yeah,
or
yeah. I think it's dangerous, man, if they don't know. I mean, alcohol can be dangerous, man.
exactly
Plasma
that's
Boy, good to see you, man. You got the bread. Oh man. Yeah. This
that's what I'm saying, right? The bread, like if you say it that way, if you think about it deep enough, it makes you then realize our body's gonna desire, man. It's gonna crave the things that we feed it, like you were saying earlier, actually about the feed. Um, so whether it's bread, beer, and other thing, any substances really, like your body's gonna like essentially feel great, like that rush of hormones. It's amazing what our sensory experience in this life is, MD.
yeah. Tell you, every day I think about the next. It's like, when I was talking to a friend and he's like, yeah, we don't know how much time we got. We don't know, when we're gonna go. It's like, yeah, but it's gonna happen. That's the thing. It's gonna happen.
Oof, bro.
BP says you can drink beer with 16 in wine in Germany. So okay, so at 16, so it's 16 in Germany. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I just looked up Portal 1, man. They say it's a puzzle game. Um they said it didn't go over so well, but that's probably because it's a thinking game, but it sounds like a cool game. Yeah, trapped in a type of aperture science facility. I mean, I've seen some really. I mean, they had one game. Oh man, it was something with a C, and it was a side scroll. It wasn't like this game with all these graphics. Not Carnage, but like oh man, it was like this alien life form. Like you play as the alien life form trying to escape from a laboratory. So you're trying to escape basically the laboratory, really, the way to say it. Um and oh man, what was the name, man? Carnelian? It was something, I think, with a C. I thought it was. I forgot. They had the gameplay on YouTube. No, not Contra. Um Let me see. Game where you play as alien trying to escape the lab, underground lab, I think it was. Carry On. I think that was it. Carry On? Let me see. Carry On. Was that it? I think that was it. Yeah. Carry On. The premise of the game, and I'm not really, into playing video games anymore, but the premise of it was deep, man. Carry On. You played as the alien, that was small, and it breaks out of the container and starts icing humans to get bigger, and then it can imitate humans. So it was really deep. And at the end of the game, I think you escape the facility. It's got some Twilight Zone stuff to it. Yeah, it's definitely got some Twilight. Yeah, I don't know if you had anything. Yeah, Carry On. That's what it was. Yeah, the game, video game.
Video games zombieism, brother, is insane, man. I mean,
Yes.
like I was saying earlier, it's just the existence
Mm-hmm.
of of the reptile. What is it called? The globe. I forgot. I can't remember why. I can't remember how to say it. The crystal ball, right? So it's the rectangular crystal square, or yeah, it's not gonna be a ball; it'll be a square. So the rectangular crystal square
Mm-hmm.
is, you know what I mean? Like we're all using this in
Mm-hmm.
a sense of communication, in a sense of look searching for things we want to see or know or experience and find out. Like like all these powers that we get. This is a very interesting existence with our sensories, but also the integration of technology with that.
Mm-hmm.
And video games, they take it to another level. Like the personas and the way that it shapes a person's personality. Like you said earlier about the violence, right? When people look at violence on screens, how it changes their nature essentially. Like you said, less empathetic. What else? What was it you were saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like less empathetic and more, I guess, like what, prone to temper and violence or something. That it will create that, and we live in a world in a society that kids grow up and their parents just let the rectangular gods, raise them basically because they'll leave it with the literally leave it with the remote.
Yep. The glowing rectangle, man. The glowing rectangle. They're saying that it decreases empathy, increases aggression and aggressive thoughts, behavior, anger. I mean, and the crazy thing is if anybody were to take their child to a doctor, I would doubt, in my opinion, that the doctor is going to say, well, you know, does the child watch any, like content that, no, it's going to be immediate, like medication.
Wow, wow,
So instead of, because you think about that, you think of the society, the madness, the insanity.
right, yeah,
Instead of saying, you see somebody that is overweight, and instead of saying, well, what are you eating? Maybe you could reduce certain things, whatever. It's like, nah. It's like, they got an answer. They got a Willy Wonka answer, a pill. And people are happy for that. Think about it. If you went, like, if the doctor was like, all right, you either got to stop eating what you like, or what you're more better defined, what you're addicted to, or you could take this pill and continue to eat it,
Andy.
right?
I mean,
People are going to choose the pill.
yeah. I mean, of course, 100%.
A lot of people, not all, but I'd say
But
9 out of 10.
what's so weird about it all? There's a reality of healing the body, right? Naturally, that doesn't involve the other thing, the pill.
Hmm.
But and then the person, if you heal, they could still have the things they enjoy. It's just when it comes to a person's caloric intake,
Hmm.
this is something that's not really kind of like. I mean, I'm not gonna say you couldn't have a disagreement and a discussion over this, but basically, it's like the reality is like, well, one part your metabolic rate,
Hmm.
right? But that also the person has to be honest about, how much are you eating.
Hmm.
Like that's definitely a thing that, obviously in this country, like people are in brainwashed from the time, of course, that they're watching the rectangular god to see food, food, food.
Mm.
So the feed, bro, oh my goodness, this got deeper in a different way. The feed of the rectangular advertisements making people just, keep overeating.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. No, definitely. There are actually some foods that they have things in them that override, in my opinion, the certain things on, like certain chips and stuff. What do they say in the advertisement? You can't just eat just one. You can't eat just one or something.
That it has something that increases the body's uh hormone in the stomach, right? Like the lining and the bacteria. That if you have consumed a certain amount of food already, that it begins to send a signal to the brain to say like, look, you're satiated as far as your hunger is
Yeah,
concerned. But
natural foods. Natural foods will give you a buffer zone,
uh
but the processed foods, something in the taste bud, the things that affect the taste buds could override. It's wow.
it gets insanely deep with the reality of like the chemical uh like the chemical brainwashing along with the electronic brainwashing, like the visual, like you said, like so it's not only what we're eating physically, but it's also what we're seeing and feeding our minds as well, combined together to truly have
Hmm.
like the zombie. That's the zombie machinery. That's why you gotta have the shades on, the native shades, just to at least stop yourself from like, all right, so I gotta see what they're bombarding me with, and I gotta also realize, like, I look at the food and I'm like, wait a second.
Hmm.
But it's like, man, the food is tough, man. The
Yeah.
food is tough.
Yeah, they definitely.
How are
Yeah.
you getting around, man? How are any of us really getting around? Like, I don't know, MD, like, no matter how organic or how vegan someone feels like they're gonna live, I
There's
think it's,
always something. There's
yeah,
always something.
about
You ain't like we think we're escaping. Sometimes I wonder, it's like, is it all written? I should be able, because you got some people that look at George Burns smoking cigars, drinking, live to over 100. You look at some people and it's like you have some people that, yeah, they pass 80, 90, but they're drinking their whole life. And then you got the guy that they might call a health nut. Something happens, and was he 70 something years old? I think the juice man, Jay Cordich, actually, I don't know if you remember that guy.
not Jake, what was it? Jeff or Jay?
The juice man, Jay Cordich. I thought it Jay Cordich. Yeah, the juice
Uh,
man.
never heard of this
Legendary health advocate.
cult, cult leader for sure. It's always a pyramid scheme. Buy this course, and we'll send you these fruits that you'll juice, and you'll live like to be like me type of. Not
Oh,
like
he
you know.
did live long though. I thought he passed earlier. He lived to 93, so that's pretty good.
Okay, okay, okay. So
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
some.
that's good. He was juicing everything he had. He like, yeah, juice it. It's the cure. He said that he
Uh,
reversed certain inoperable things by doing the Gerson diet.
I'm gonna have orange juice right now just for this guy, man. And because I got some fresh one today, some
But
fresh orange.
his thing was apple carrot juice. I remember getting a juicer. I mean, he had the commercials, and it was good. I mean, he's right. There is no juice that tastes as good as fresh squeezed juice. Like I would put it through the juicer, the carrot, the apple. Oh my goodness, it's delicious. It's like nature's candy. You have to be careful because if you drink it too quick, it's like a sugar rush. But I mean, juice in a carrot apple is delicious. And I would do I had like, I think I might still have the book of recipes, like 3 apples and like a half a lemon, just the best tasting lemon apple juice, like a lemonade, apple lemonade, just amazing. Like you can't even, there's just no way to even compare it to anything that sells in a bottle. Yeah, he was definitely on point with that. Yeah, he was definitely a Jay Cordage. Wow, I didn't think he lived to be 93. I thought it was something because he was like 70 something and his wife was like 40. I remember.
I mean, like you said, the fresh juice thing, and then probably some exercise too, right? I mean, the guy's a health nut. He probably exercises. Like he probably goes for his morning jog religiously, and good for him. You know, he
Yeah,
has
no,
to
I
live.
give him a lot of credit. A. Patterson, good to see. He says that older generation wasn't ingesting all the stuff we're eating now. Yeah, they live longer. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
they had more of like a better quality of the of like the food supplies before it became so poisoned to this point,
Hmm.
right? But
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely yeah, he selling juice man. So he sold juices to millions. Yeah, he was I mean, I remember when I had the original channel, I had made a video on raw foods, juicing. And I remember he left a comment on there. And I was like, wow. Because this was in the early days of YouTube. You're looking at 2009, 2010, 15 years ago. Wasn't that many people on YouTube. The highest, I remember back then, the highest, the biggest channel with the highest amount of subscribers that I saw, like at that time, was a Chinese dude. He was like an Asian guy named Niga Haiga. I think he still has a channel, and he had 3 million subscribers, and he was very, very well known, young guy, and he was 3 million. That was like you didn't have anybody that was over 5 million subscribers back then. Now you got people 40 million, 50 million. I think PewDiePie had like 100 million subscribers.
uh, yeah, no, the internet game is real, and it's a lot, man. Because you think about that, you think about 400 million subscribers. I mean, a lot of it has to be, I
I
think.
can't even believe how much. I thought Mr. Beast was like at what 100 million. They're saying he's at like 450 million subscribers.
Really? Oh my goodness.
That is insane, bro.
I mean,
That's
again, like
in.
I it probably is bought to an extent. A lot of it, I kind of wonder about that, right? How much of it is real? Like you can tell, right? A channel's or even any account that has like subscribers and followers or whatever. You can tell kind of like a certain degree of the organic realness of the channel or like of an account, right? Because you'll see like the ratio of likes and post engagement versus the amount of like subscribers or followers that they have. Because if you have 450 million subscribers, right?
That's crazy. You got people.
And you only
You got
get, but you
10
only get
people that are over 100 million easily.
right, yeah, you would think like they would get like 100 million likes or views or whatever, like nothing, right? But
That's
then you
just
see,
insane.
huh?
That's just insane.
Hmm.
Yeah, the guy Ryan Higa. So that was his channel. I think he's got approximately 20 million. So he's
Okay.
like one of the earliest guys that I think were making money at 3 million. And maybe he got like some type of deals or something.
Like, but even then, like, who cares? Like, the people then, like, they're like, they have deals, like, that's what they want, like, that's what they figured out how to market themselves, the brand, or whatever it is at the channel
Yeah.
or
And from
account.
2009 to 2011, they had said he was also the first person to reach the milestone of 2 million and 3 million. So I think he was the top. I remember back then.
Hmm.
And it was more like comedy base. It was, he was just a young guy. The fact that he's only got 20 million, but it seems like he must have got deals. There was another guy that got a deal with Nickelodeon, kind of an odd kid. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man, Nickelodeon. You
Yeah.
talk about you
Yeah.
talk about crazy. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Live in Color. They did make a spoof on Jay. Yeah. Jim Carrey, the Juice spoof. Oh, Black Circle, brother. Good to see you, man. Always, bro. Yeah. That guy
Wait,
Ryan Higa. Yeah. 2 to 3 million. I mean, wow. I look at that like, man, it just, yeah. Think about it. It's like, yeah, the Logan brothers. They're surprisingly not a lot of Logan brothers YouTube subscribers. 23 million. Logan Paul, and then I think Jake Paul. I don't know if Logan are saying together 44 million. So
yeah,
Logan.
Logan. Yeah, Logan's the taller one, while Jake is the one that's the boxer dude, like recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those guys like on the internet, right? That they have all these like crazy shows and like their stuff. It's
Yeah.
like they
Logan, yeah, 23 million, the other's 20 million. But I think he pulled in like 80 million like a year or two ago. It's crazy.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that this is just what these people are like. Look, I just have to expose. You know, you just got to expose the side of like life and beyond that. Like sign the contract and basically be the stunt. For the show.
They're saying
And
Mr. Beast made 85 million last year.
right, like
That's
when you see
crazy.
about large money like that, like it isn't just happening by chance.
That's like, yeah, that's up there, man. That's definitely up there. And
Yeah, man.
it's like you think about the content. There's nobody that's making that type of stuff with any content that actually has like thinking to it. It's all buffoonery.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm telling you, yeah, they become the participants. It's selling the soul basically because like what it is when these guys that they I forget in Hollywood would always be like for sure the no matter who you portray yourself as like you still sold yourself to the system you know because now this is now gonna be like how they see you and remember you as because this is like the people and like for some it works out like in a respectable manner like when guys get very masculine positions and roles and stuff but then they got the ones that they always say like they'd always make the guys that were like the very like heroic kind of guys have to wear a dress as part of like like this
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of ritual.
and you're like so they emasculate the man for selling himself into that
I
system
mean, when they try to say that, like recently in the 80s, they were emasculating. I mean, you look at the hair bands, you look at Boy George was everywhere, man. You couldn't turn on a TV without hearing him or radio. It's just like, holy smoke. So when I look back at it, it's been around. It's
Yeah.
been around. It's not like it's new. I think it's just more because social media and regular media is so prevalent, we see it more. But when I look back at some of the old stuff, yeah, it's there. It's there. I mean, look at Little Richard, right? With Tutti Frutti. Tutti Frutti on Rudy. And the crazy thing was Elvis and Pat Boone stole the song and sold more records than him. because that was back when, the so-called law was like, it was all right to do that. I wonder what would happen if it went in reverse.
Like the world works in a certain way that it's just like this corruption, man, and everything. It's just crazy the degree of
Wow.
dark. Yeah,
A. Patterson was saying the Tate fight was new moon. So it was new moon, and that was on full moon, the other one. And then the Tyson, wow. This is crazy, man. That's crazy that 16 billion views, man. That's so Zombieville. I think that little Nas X had a billion views on his Old Town Road video.
yeah. Wouldn't be surprised, man. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised that the way the generations have gravitated towards, definitely music zombieism
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
mixed
the
in with,
catchy tune.
and then the music videos, man. That's the thing right there. That's really, like the power spell right there. Because what do you got all day on those videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got guys with guns, acting tough. You got girls, doing
Well,
the
imagine that has to have an effect.
100%,
Like we were saying with the violence.
the aggression.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's definitely some type of it says here, like, yeah, media use can affect kids. Yeah, this is I mean, it's research that it's laid out. How many endings does the American child see before middle school? 8,000. 8,000 on television. That's the crazy thing.
wow.
That is just like, whoa. It's like, so with crime and punishment, whatever it is, you got kids
Yeah.
that are seeing over 8,000 endings and 100,000 other acts of violence. That's crazy before middle school.
And you wonder, right? Why these kids are so aggressive
Yeah,
and
but yeah, and then you got first people, you got some people who are so like ridiculous. They'll say, "Oh, it's because of their ethnicity or something." It's like, are you crazy, bro? It's like this is
that's
pushing, yeah, and that's the craziest thing. I hear these guys saying that, and I'm like, it just shows me that ignorance has no prejudice. It proves it all the time.
yeah, 100%.
Constantly proves it, man. These guys are, oh well, it's like, so seeing 8,000 murders, basically, they're saying on the thing, 8,000 people ending themselves for YouTube guidelines, and another 100,000 acts of violence. So assault, essay, all of this other stuff before middle school. That's insane. That's insane, but that has to affect the psyche in a non-beneficial way. It has behavioral changes, increased aggressive behavior, thoughts, and anger. And then people wonder why the kids are violent.
It's traumatizing, man.
Traumatized for the rest of their life. And then imagine listening to Tupac. I don't want to summon Scribe, but yeah, it's like, I mean, something like that, just NWA.
if you go there, man, you got the thumbnail picture, the one for the music zombie.
Oh, the bed sheets. I gotta find them. I don't know if I still have those. The bed
No,
sheets.
no,
The
not the
fact
most.
that they were selling Tupac bed sheets with the pillowcases, that says it all right there. It's like, why?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That's
So I'm saying,
crazy. That's insane. That's insane that people would have M&M bed sheets, straight feminine. It's like, why? Yeah, TV is the propaganda tool, man. It is the propaganda tool. Wow, man. This is like, I'm looking up these stats and it is like, it's scary. It's frightening. It is frightening. The fact that the long-term risk, it says studies link heavy childhood TV viewing to a higher likelihood of antisocial personality disorder and criminal convictions in adulthood. So you see, that's the thing. They're going to say, they'll try to blame a person's ethnicity and all this other stuff, but never, just the fact that the studies are here, the science is here. People don't want to listen to the science. TV viewing is linked. Childhood TV viewing, studies link heavy childhood TV viewing to a higher likelihood of anti-social. See, they have to say likelihood. This is, and then add in the food, add in all the other things. It's just like, wow. Yeah, Tupac was an actor, clearly, but some people don't want to get that. They just, they think he was, some type of revolutionary good guy or something. National Institute of Health is talking about exposure of U.S. adolescents to extremely violent movies. The 40 violent movies that were seen by a median of 12.5, estimated 22 million U.S. adolescents aged 10 to 14. Whoa. That is crazy. It had a Scary Movie. Did you see that movie?
No, I didn't see that one.
They're saying Scary Movie was seen by 10 million
Oh,
children.
you're talking about Scary Movie. Oh, my bad. I thought you were saying that.
Yeah. Was it violent or no?
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. I mean, it had like a little. It wasn't even that crazy, to be honest with you. The first Scary Movie and stuff, but it was good. You know, it was like supposed. It had like a lot of like a surprise factor to it, but it wasn't like really graphic. I don't think. Yeah, surprisingly gory things and like stuff about like graphic material. It's only gotten better. It's only gotten worse. I would say in the
Mhm.
sense of like when I say better, I mean it's like oh my goodness.
And check this out. In the study, they're saying, and Brianne Nichols might like this, but this is like really wow. It's saying that, and I guess it's, yeah, this is brutal, man. It's saying that watching extremely violent movies was associated with being male, older, non-white, having less educated parents, and doing poorly in school. Wow. So black male adolescents were at a particularly high risk for seeing these movies. For example, Blade, Training Day, Scary Movie were seen respectively by 37%, 20. So, one, it makes sense. Less educated parents, because they're going to let their kids see stuff like this. Wow. Was associated with older kids. Wow. Yeah, man. So basically, and this now, what they're saying here, it goes beyond just the ethnicity of the people. It's saying having people that are not educated, because parents that care are going to say, look, you can't watch that. So it's going to be something like that.
MD, I actually saw a study. It was a cross reference, and it was actually a direct correlation between kids who saw the movie Blade Runner and kids who saw a movie like Training Day, those violent kind of movies. And those same kids were the same ones that were listening to an album called Thug Life by this rapper named Tupac.
It's crazy, man. It's like, And that's something that some people don't understand. That listening to stuff like that, man, it's just it's not good, man. It's not good.
What's wrong with that generation? What's wrong with that group of people?
Well, the crazy thing is, Wavy said he wasn't even born. He was born around the time when Pac was ended.
Because
And
his parents were listening to that stuff still when he was a kid.
I think they bottle fed him on that, man. He was listening to that while he was drinking a baby bottle or something.
He's rattling his rattle to the beats of Thug Life.
he was, oh my goodness. He had the bandana in the crib. They put the bandana on.
He went to sleep in Tupac sheets.
Oh my good. He might have had the bed sheets. Holy smokes.
He's banging his little toy drums and Brenda's got a baby.
Yo, the Thug Life Rattler, that's hilarious. The Thug Life Rattler, that is freaking hilarious. The Thug Life Rattler. It's like, oh my goodness, man.
Come on, we're Scry. We had to summon him now.
Yeah, I'm scared now. He might pop up. He just, he tried to tell me something today, and I was just like, come on, man. It's like, do I have the blackout on Tupac again? It's like,
was he walking around with one pant leg rolled up?
No, I think that was before his time. When I was a kid, they used to do that. Like when I was a little too young for it, but I remember the older guys used to roll up the one pant leg with the tube sock that had the Pro Keds. And I was a little too young when they used to do that, but I remember seeing it. And but yeah, the Tupac, because I remember Wavy, a few people jumped on the bandwagon with Scribe. I don't know if Pandemic was one of them. It might have been. But I know there was like 3 or 4 people that jumped on the bandwagon. That was like,
there was a few of them, diehard Tupac fans, man.
Yeah, they just but the Rattler, oh my goodness, the Rattler and the Sheets. It just but when you look at it, it's like if you have, these homes, and this is something where some of these guys might say, it's basically a certain ethnicity, but it's saying no, a lot of those ethnicities grow up with parents that don't care. So they're allowed, they're not getting supervised. Matter of fact, they're listening to Tupac with the parents. That's where the problem starts. The fact that a parent is so ignorant that they're going to allow their child to listen to that. And I understand the other scenario is the parents being busy because they're working, trying to make a better life for their spoiled child that ends up buying Tupac tapes or watching these movies like Blade or Training Day.
You know what they say is that a lot of these single moms, they dress up their little boys as similar to what their like baby daddies looked like, like the bad boy baby daddies, and like who mimic the rappers, like you're saying, the celebrity zombies.
They mimic the guys who left them.
Exactly, the guys who left them, and the guys who left them mimic guys like the Thug Life, Tupac, celebrity, because they're celebrity zombies, and so they're dressing them up in the Nikes with the one pant leg rolled up and the bandana and they give them the Tupac Rattler.
And then when you have an entire genre of music that just constantly pounds it into the heads of kids for generations, to see people grow up, to see somebody as young as Wavy, and he seems to be a smart guy, but the fact that he can't see through the Tupac illusion is it's like, holy smokes, man. It's like, and they always bring out the few songs. Oh, well, he wrote this song about, being good to his mother and stuff. And I'm like, was that before or after he sodomized the girl in the club? When was that? It's like
Wavy can see through Masonic rituals and this witchcraft and all this symbolism, but he can't see through Thug Life.
That's the craziest thing, man. That is the crazy. And he's very educated. It's just, I don't know. Sometimes,
He has a blind spot. It's because of that bandana flap. You know how he wears it with
oh
the
my,
flap in the forehead, the bandana flap. That's his blind spot.
it's crazy, man. It is really crazy because you look at the stuff that I had presented on one of those old streams and it was showing people were, we see it here at the National Institute of Health. Anybody can look it up. Younger people can be more inclined to be aggressive behavior,
It's
action.
it's like the short that you just put out, MD, the great short that you just put out, first short on the YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It is a very professional, amazing short that MD put out. And you can see it looks like a fast food place, like an In-N-Out burger or something like that. Like it's just a regular crap burger, but for some reason people are obsessed with it and they're wearing the fancy little white fast food hats, you know what I mean? And they're all cooking. Someone probably said, cheeseburgers are not healthy for you. And they all look at you and they start running at you towards this screen. And it's like, that's what the Tupac zombies felt like when we had those streams. They just said, did you say something bad about Tupac?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The zombies, I mean, they have their own particular strain of the zombie infection, I say, or the zombie virus. It's basically, some will be Dr. Dre zombies, Snoop Dogg zombies, Eminem zombies. Who was the other one? Tupac zombies. These newer ones, Wiz Khalifa, Bad Bunny. I mean, 50 Cent, that was the other one. Yeah, it just Swifty, yep, Taylor Swift zombies. I can't even, I mean, with the Taylor Swift thing is so brutal, man. And yeah, some people say he was shorter, but I mean, what do you say? I also think in 2020, yeah, causing people to be aggressive. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff. I mean, it just, yeah. When I look at some of these studies, it says the study documents widespread exposure. Yeah. Young U.S. adults to movies with extreme graphic violence. Wow. That is like, imagine that, man. The kid and not just watching it, but watching it on repeat. It's like, I remember my nephew, he'd always want to watch the Ewoks, that Ewok show from Star Wars. I mean, that stuff was like, it was sad. The kid basically, I mean, got Ewokized or something. Everything was Ewok. He played that video cassette tape like continuously. It was crazy. I think about how brainwashing that was. I mean, even with the Taylor Swift thing, I think I had a picture, or I took it down. I should have kept it up. It was crazy. It was brutal. It was brutal. The Taylor Swift thing, man, it's like I don't even know what to say. It's just like, but there was something where because Mr. X and I were talking about like images, and like this image here, it's like a shadow art. They take items and they put them in a certain way where it reflects a shadow. And it's almost unbelievable that these pieces of metal twisted up, laid in a certain configuration, when the light is casted on it from a certain angle, it gives the shadow of the silhouette of a woman's face.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right? This is on another level. This is like on another, see, this type of stuff, it gets people to think without knowing they're even thinking. It kind of lets you know who's really fully zombified if a person can't even appreciate a little bit of this, to say, you look at this and you say, holy smokes, man, this is amazing. to make art like this, it's like, wow. Wow, this is like,
Meanwhile, Zombie is wondering now if I sold this, how many Taylor Swift posters could I buy?
yeah, yeah, Taylor Swift, man. That's so brutal, man. When I showed her picture on the thumbnail, man, that was like it was really it was something, man. Let me see if I still
You know what I say when girls they have like no ass, like their jeans are baggy or their like short shorts are baggy or whatever. I'm like, you know that game, Where in the World is Carmen San Diego? I'm like, where in the world is that girl's ass? Where,
yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah, she I mean I had the picture that I had on the thumbnail was so brutal, man. It just I had to like I took it off of YouTube because off of the StreamYard because it was, I mean, just watching it was brutal. I mean, this is the thing here. I mean, this is brutal. This is so brutal. I don't even know what to say. The level of brutal that this,
because it ain't a girl.
bro. I don't even. If it probably is, but I
If
mean,
it got an apple, it got a banana.
bro, it
That's
just
your famous saying, MD.
it is, man. In my opinion, I mean, I ain't trying to go to her concert. I mean, this is like, I mean, I don't know what to say, bro. I really just stay within YouTube guidelines, man. I mean, we are in the epidemic of immaturity. When you look at the faces of these guys, to think that these people are in positions, top positions, it's scary. It's scary to think that this is the type of immaturity that a young male grows up with seeing. To say, oh, this is what you know, this is what's in charge. It's crazy, man. Yeah, they have something here. A growing body of scientific literature documents the negative effects and exposure to violent media on children, adolescents, and adults. So this is another thing too, that adults have to be careful. Everybody has to be careful. It's images getting put into your mind. You want to watch something that actually educates you over something that can cause detrimental effects, especially increasing aggression. And they said it even goes into video games, television, films, music, has been linked to increased aggression and violence. So, violent video games, violent television films makes sense. Yeah, this is in conclusion for the, and it's good that they have that. It's good that they have that. The crime and punishment, man. It's like, could it be cultivated by these forms of media? Movies, music. I mean, well, yeah, books, because romance books sell, from what they say, the most. I remember people were hooked on those Harlequin romances or something like that. Like a while back, Harlequin romances.
Women. I think the most sold book ever was 50 Shades of Grey or something like that. Like it was a
Yeah.
super popular book among women because they don't want to be treated good.
Well,
In some people's opinion.
I wouldn't say that. It's more like playing into something forbidden. I mean, also marketing.
And the fact that he's a rich billionaire and every woman
Yeah,
thinks that,
exactly.
oh, some average woman's going to get the rich billionaire.
Like, it's not Danny DeVito with 50 Shades of Grey. It's definitely not.
50 Shades of Batman Penguin.
No, 50, yeah, at that. Jose, you had some?
No, you're just saying the thing with the 50 Shades of Grey. I think it's just there's a part of women's psychology that the woman wants a man who dominates her.
What
You know,
about
like
Danny DeVito?
no, like character. You know what I mean? Like there's so many elements of character that definitely being good looking was principle. I'm not.
Good
I don't.
looking and rich. Come on.
No, yeah, I get that too. But you can be. You don't have to have that much money necessarily to know. Like if you know how to. If you're good looking, obviously you'll attract women, and then if you just know the dark aspect of the woman's psychology that you are supposed to fulfill as a role of her fantasy, then she just like is like in that state that she's like, okay, I got my good looking guy that does what he does to me, and I love that, and then yeah, I love, like, you know what I mean, like the woman.
Yeah.
If
Yeah, let me just say, I've done that a lot, right? I've fulfilled those fantasies a lot for one. But the thing is, what keeps them to stick around is the fact when the guy has money and a lot of stuff that they can mooch off of. You know what I mean? So you can play out a lot of fantasies with these women, but it will be temporary. The fact that the woman like, oh, I'll give everything to this guy and do anything for him, and I'll keep chasing after him, is because he's a billionaire. But how many billionaires are in the world? Very, very few. So all these women think that the billionaire is going to pick all of them. Statistically, it doesn't make sense.
Was 50 Shades a movie or just a book?
that's a
They
movie.
was a book and they turned it into a movie. The
Yeah.
movie is what made the books explode, and then it made the book the most popular
Oh,
selling book.
But they definitely had somebody to market it, I think.
oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, I was actually gonna tell you, I'm gonna bounce for tonight, man. So good to see you both, actually. But
Oh, all right, man. Yeah,
All
I
right.
grabbed something. I grabbed
Well,
some.
I'm sorry I came in and woke everybody up to start getting people laughing and stuff like that. And Jose put himself to sleep. So good night, Jose. Put himself to sleep with his monotone, very very boring voice. So
No, he's
anyone
probably just
else who
tired.
who who
He was
Jose
on.
put to sleep, in my opinion.
He was on for a while, and he just, yeah, I mean, Crime and Punishment, man. Crime and Punishment. When I look at all of the, I mean, we were looking up the fact that Trump was convicted of, I think, over 30 felonies, did no time, no fine, no penalty.
Wow.
And they were saying, I think Alexis put in the chat that a certain felony requires a minimum of like a year or something like that.
What were the felonies he was convicted of? I know he got like convicted of like real estate fraud or whatever, like overvaluing his houses and properties and stuff like that, right?
I think it was some with that, and some I think was hiding some stuff from the Stormy Daniels thing.
Was there did you read off the list of his felonies already?
No, I didn't read off the list, but I briefly looked it up, and yeah, let me see. Trump.
I am curious. I heard he was convicted of like a bunch of stuff, but all I heard was like, oh, he overvalued like one of his condos or something like that. I'm like, what the,
I
okay,
mean,
maybe that's one. There's like 29 more to go or something,
yeah, 34.
34. Wow.
So 34. Um, let me see if there's a. So yeah, it's got they're like mostly lumped together. NPR has a falsified 34 counts of falsified business records. So stuff from and that's the craziest thing. Convicted of criminal charges. The president has been, wow, first time a former or sitting US president has been convicted of criminal charges, but doesn't get in trouble for it. And he falsified, they're saying, business records to conceal a $130,000 hush money payment to Stormy Daniels. That is crazy. Wow. That is freaking crazy. Invoices and revocable trust, and I mean, This is crazy, bro. And he's guilty of all of them. Wow. And this is crazy, man. It shows how zombie I was because I didn't really care to look him up because I already know it's all based on
what else is in there as a
all
felony?
types of it's all like a lot of it is business. Um it's like stuff with Michael Cohen, invoice from Michael Cohen. I don't know who, you know, um wow, guilty on 11 charge. Holy smokes. Entry level general ledger, revocable trusts, very 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 like legality type of stuff, like check and stub. So stuff like that, check and stub.
Like pay stubs they're talking about?
I guess. Yeah, it has that, like it has a thing where you can look it up. It's a lot of reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now it'd be too much.
But a bunch of like white collar, like business type of crimes.
Entry level, yeah, entry in the detailed general ledger, voucher number 86. So it goes into
it's like accounting. So he's doing like accounting fraud.
Well, yeah, some is revocable trust, some is account bearing check.
So he's like basically laundering money or hiding money, or
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we can't say for sure, but it's
in my opinion,
he was found guilty on that. And to say, wait a minute, so crime without punishment, basically. How we have crime and punishment as the name, and nobody cares.
Yeah, if they're famous, like celebrities, and if they got money and they can pay off the right people, for some reason, people who do way less crimes.
Statistics either.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people who do way less crimes get punished a lot worse than these celebrities and rich people do. So,
like somebody who would say, oh, well, these certain people go to prison. And so, wait a minute, this guy should have went. But it ain't going to come up in the statistics because he didn't go to prison, he didn't get a fine, and he didn't get a penalty. But yet, if that was somebody else, they might have not got out. I mean, it's really, really blatant. It's really blatant, man, to think about that. Like, holy smokes.
I think that's where the Dave Chappelle joke comes from, where he was like getting pulled over by a police officer when he was in a passenger seat and his friend was in the driver's seat. His friend was white. And then he says, "Don't worry, I got this." And then an officer comes up and he says, "What were you doing?" He was like speeding and like doing all this crazy and driving all crazy and everything like that. And then officer comes to the window and says, "What were you doing?" And then the white guy in the driver's seat says, "I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know I couldn't do that." And then he winks at Dave in the passenger seat, looks back at the officer, and says, "Well, all right, just don't do that anymore. I'll give you a warning this time." And David's like in shock. So the same thing, like that'll never go on statistic, right? I mean, it never got put in the system or nothing, So
nothing.
Yeah,
it's like a crime committed that's never documented. And it's not to say anything against anybody. It's just saying, okay, this is how when people cite these statistics, they get like in a I call it CLS, Chicken Little syndrome. So they get hit on the head with a brick like Chicken Little, and Chicken Little ran around saying the sky was falling. So they'll get these statistics and say, oh my goodness, they'll see, and the videos are off the handle. Like when you see some of these videos in fast food restaurants, the behavior of some people is atrocious. But there are other videos of different people doing crazy ass stuff like that too. They just don't show a lot of them. And yeah, I'll definitely would think that from the ones I've seen, a lot of them are predominantly from certain areas and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that they're all like that. Like some of them are actually kind of funny. Like they had that one with the lady at McDonald's. They had a walk-up window. And she got into some beef, and I guess she got into something with the girl and she hit her. She threw like a big gulp and caught her in the face. I was like, "Holy smokes!" I mean,
She got an orange soda to go.
yes, the orange soda, and it was hilarious. I was like, "Holy smokes!" I mean,
Well, most of it was brought home in her clothes and
yeah. And,
in her
the
hair.
thing was, the lady was wrong. She was pressing her, and it was just like, listen, those McDonald's, I mean, they know every angle of those windows on how to throw it.
She threw a curveball, hit her right in the face with an orange soda.
The craziest thing was she stuck her head in the window a little, so it caught her like just lovely, like in the face, to where you see the face back out of the window from the splash. It's really it was good.
Right
Like,
as the splash is coming, so the splash doesn't even get inside the window. It's all outside the window and in her
caught the
clothes. And
splash. It like pushed her head back out the window.
yeah, I mean, that's got some weight to it, man. A triple XL, whatever size that was.
That video, it was a short. It was on YouTube. It got 11 million views, and then it got taken down. I think the lady complained, and it got taken down. Alexis, brother, thank you for the support, bro. He says, MD, what's your response to idiot Nick Fuentes fans who say 13% of the population commit over 50% of violent crime? Those are the people. Remember, when you got an idiot like Fuentes, the only people that are going to follow that person are idiots. So that's the first thing. And they will think that statistics that they read are 100% true, which if you look up, like, and this is why I brought up, crime and punishment and everything. There is something that just happened with a guy named Jesse Butler. That guy is not part of the 13% of the population, and he essayed 2 underage girls and tried to end them by strangulation. Was facing 78 years. Anybody can look it up, Jesse Butler. And they gave him community service. They tried to, I mean, this
Are
is
you
what,
serious?
yeah, you look up Jesse Butler, Oklahoma, you will be freaking shocked at what you find. And it's recent. Then, and this is another thing I would say as a response, Alexis is asking, just popped up today when I looked on YouTube. This guy shot with a shotgun, if I remember correctly, at a delivery lady who was black. She had her and her son was in the truck, and he shot at them, from what they say, because they were black. He's not part of the 13% of what they're saying. But those people that were assaulted violently with deadly intent, it seems, were on the other end of that. So the Nick Fuentes fans, the delusional fans, they will not even take that into consideration. And I can go on and on. There's a look at just recently in Florida, a guy ended.
Yes, I was going to bring that one up. I wanted to say that one.
Exactly. The wife, tried to end the stepdaughter and then ended himself. There was another guy who stabbed, I think, a woman and her daughter, ended them. I think I might have saved it on let me see if it pops up. So I just type in, and this is what I would do for these guys, Alexis, and thank you, brother, for the support and the comment, man. I would tell them those two, but I would also tell them this. And of course, we know on this channel, we invite everybody, all ethnicity, all backgrounds. This is what makes it great, is that we can all be different.
All
We're
different types of zombies, even Tupac zombies.
exactly. We let Tupac zombies on. We let straight all of that. You know, we're okay with it. We're mature enough to disagree and agree and to say, okay, where are we not seeing the evidence? Maybe we could agree with it. I would say, okay, I typed in because the incident was a male who stabbed a woman and a daughter, right? So I typed in white male stabs woman and daughter, and it says there have been several recent news reports, you know, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, and this is 2025, all of these.
But which one are you talking about?
Yeah. And I'm like, holy smoke. So with the 15, like what you were saying, the 13% is saying 50% of it's like, wait a second. All you got to do is I would tell them, I would type it in like what you're asking. I would type it in and just go down the list here. Okay. Mesa, Arizona in September. There was a guy, Lowell Tucker. He was arrested for breaking into an apartment and stabbing the mother and her two adult daughters while they were sleeping. Oh my goodness, random attack. That's crazy. Kirkland, Washington, another one. September again. Ridgewood, Queens, New York. This guy might be a Spanish guy, Cruz. But, you know, that could range from white or black. East Haven, Connecticut. This is crazy. This is crazy. The guy accused of the mom and the two daughters. That was September, and they got him. They're saying it's attempted murder. Man, there is a list, bro. There is a list. So that's I would bring that up, and then there are other ones that remember. You know, they were showing the guy, which was horrible. I'm not exonerating anybody's nutcase behavior, like the guy on the train that had did that to that woman. But there was also another account of a guy in Oklahoma who was a white male that did that to a white woman, and nobody said nothing. She had to get stitched up. She did live, but he cut her neck. You know, I think it was Oklahoma in neck. Let me see. Wow, multiple news reports from August in Tulsa. Okay, that was the guy. Robert Rhodes, 42, and allegedly slicing a woman's throat in an unprovoked attack on a city bus. Now, they got a picture of him being taken away in cuffs, and he appears beyond a reasonable doubt to be a white male. And oh my goodness, this is crazy. One woman, it's a black woman. She was an 18-year-old teenager. But I don't know if that was the same guy. This is nuts, man. The amount of crime. And this is what I was saying. There is just the fact that I type something in and all this other stuff comes up is just ridiculous. It's just, it's like, what the? And the victim, the 43-year-old female victim, it's like, you know, where is the empathy and stuff? Where is, what happened to that? What happened to that, man? And the Tulsa patrol officers, they located Rhodes. He had blood on his clothing. What type of nutcase? Oh, man.
You say where's the empathy at, and they say, now we got social media. Supposedly everybody's connected with everybody. No. Social media made people unsociable. Made people not know their neighbors. Made people think that, oh, well, maybe I saw something they posted online or something like that. So people don't actually know their neighbors. They don't actually talk to them. They don't have a sense of community. People think they're connecting with people because they see them online, but that is not the same as talking to your neighbor, helping your neighbor carry something heavy or whatever. Like just simple things that like you would do to connect. Oh, say thanks, I appreciate that. Hey, you wanna have a beer? Like, oh, okay, now they're having a beer and chilling or getting to know each other, whatever, because he helped them carry something, move a couch out or whatever. It's just like people don't interact with their neighbors anymore. So there's no empathy. People don't feel connected to their community anymore. Another thing is this mass immigration, which they're doing on purpose, in my opinion, to destroy the culture in that area with it doesn't have anything to do with skin color, nothing like that. When you bring in people from different countries, different cultures, different loyalty to different countries, you're not going to connect with them. It's going to be
Or
destroyed.
at least have, I mean, the laws. I mean, it's a big, when you look at the lawmakers, the governor of Minnesota was in some type of scandal. I'm going to look it up in a second. Alexis, brother, thank you for the support, bro. He says, they love bringing up the black guy on the train, unaliving the woman, yet ignore the fact he had over 30 arrests. They shift blame on blacks and not the politicians letting them out.
Well, that's a fact.
Absolutely, bro. Yeah, you're right.
MD was actually just touching on a great point too that Alexis June also touched on, is that the politicians themselves don't respect the laws, because you got the president of the United States convicted of 30 felonies, over 30 felonies, served no time. So people think like, oh, well, the law is just a joke. And then you got the governors always getting caught up in scandals. You got congressmen, insider trading, nothing happens to them. It's like the law is a joke. So how, if the politicians themselves are not held accountable, how do you expect any of the people, the common people, to respect the laws or obey the laws or be decent citizens when their politicians are not decent citizens?
Well, yeah, you do have that. They're definitely not decent people on the whole, but also, like what Alexis is saying here, they're not talking about the politicians on the one. They try to keep the blame on this black guy when somebody made a video, and that those arrests, they were saying the majority, I think, if not all, were nonviolent. Like there was burglary, there was stuff like that, which was bad. But the thing was, they didn't want to talk about who, like you're saying here, they shift the blame, but who is letting them out? Who's the guy? When you see someone like that, that one either should be remanded to a mental institution or not let out. And then when that happens, it's as if they do it, and now the zombies will blame, oh, look, the black guy, like you're saying. Exactly. This is a very good point. The black guy, but not saying anything about, wait a second, they had so many chances to keep this guy in there. And we're not saying that he's right or he's not guilty. No, we're not saying that. We're saying, look at the full picture. And then this is the thing too. The guy that I pulled up from Tulsa, right? Rhodes, that guy is where's his thing? He just Rhodes, 42, was arrested for slicing a woman's throat in an unprovoked attack on a city bus. Now that's a white male. This guy's a white male. And this is the thing. This happened in August 2025. So around the same time as the black guy doing the thing to the white woman on the train. So you had this guy doing this to a person on the bus, and then the other guy doing it on his train. One guy's black, one guy's white. Who did they put and push on the news? The black guy that did that, which it was horrendous, but so was what this guy did to the lady on the bus, and he's a white guy. So if we look at that, that's what I was saying about when they try to put it on the racial thing without looking at, well, wait a second, this guy had an extensive thing. What about the people that let him out? Like you said, the politicians. And then that's a big problem right there. And then there's another guy in Manhattan that just was groping women, and he again is a white male, and he had like 30 something, like 35 or something arrest. And they didn't talk too much about that. It was on the news once. I think it was around NYU by the university, groping. And I think he slapped her too on the rear end at NYU. So he was at NYU. Okay, so Rizzo, who had 16 prior busts on his rap sheet. Oh my goodness, this is, every time I look it up, it's just like, what the heck, man? What the heck is going on? Yeah, this was in Manhattan, 16 prior arrests. They don't put this guy on the front news. It's like you're saying, Alexis, totally. It's a very biased thing that they're doing, and they won't talk about the politicians that are letting them out. Sons of God says people will film somebody being harmed or harassed rather than step in. The bystander effect is real. Yeah, the bystander effects. Why though? What's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, the bystander effects is very real. Very, very real. That's like, yeah, man. What I think too, Alexis, they're always trying, they love bringing it up, man. They love, you're absolutely right. They're trying to keep people against each other. They're clearly trying to play people against each other. Like when we looked at I remember there's a guy, Chase Hughes, he has a channel, and he talked about the thing with the whole Kirk thing and everything. And we see that when he was saying stuff about black stuff and all of this, and the irony of it is that if the guy is the real perpetrator that did that to him, it's the same ethnicity as Kirk. But they ain't bringing that up. You know, that they want to have a reason to point and say, oh, look, it was somebody from the 13%. And they even have these guys making videos now, these insecure males saying, oh, if 13% of, animals were committing all 100% of this or 80% of this, what would you do? And guys were catching on to what this guy was trying to say, because it was really messed up, man. When they push that narrative of the 13%, what I would do, I would bring up and I would say, look, it's kind of like with this, yeah. I would say, look, you got a president that committed over 30 felonies, didn't even get a fine. He didn't get no penalty, no fine. You have Jesse Butler. Jesse Butler is a big one that people need to look up. I mean, that's like almost defies logic. The fact that the guy did that to two young girls, tried to end them, and they're like, first they try to be like, oh, he's underage, he's a youthful offender. He's 18. He's not a youthful offender. Then community service. I mean, that's not going to go on the statistics. So when they say, oh, 13% committing 50% of the violent crime, it's like, no. This guy, Butler, committed 2 violent, matter of fact, 4 violent, 2 essays on the 2 girls, and then he tried to end both of them. That's 4 different crimes, violent, on one guy, but they won't put that on the books. And they'll say, well, the 13%. So these are things, and this is another thing, Alexis, with these guys, the idiotic Nick Fuentes fans, is that that alone, we got to remember these guys are idiots. And Mark Twain said it best. All this evidence, he said, no amount of evidence can convince an idiot. So it's basically, we already know. They are, when somebody is on that bandwagon, and the people on that bandwagon, they're not just white people on the bandwagon. We know there's black people like Myron Gaines and these other guys that are going to support what this narrative that people are trying to push. Like you were saying, they always they love bringing up the black guy on the thing. Always. You have these guys like Fresh and Fit and all of that's all they do. So they'll use them as to say, oh, well, you see, and it's like, no. Those guys, matter of fact, somebody needs to send them a new pair of tap dancing shoes, because that's all they do is tap dance. That's all they do. And we already know where Fresh and Fit, what they're, how biased it can be. It's really sad. But I would, and this is why I was saying earlier with the stream, it's like there is an epidemic of crime. It's not that it's a color thing. There's people of all colors doing these horrific acts, but there's somebody group behind the scene trying to push it, a narrative to keep people against each other, to say, oh no, it's this people that's doing more. It's like, well, not according to the Jesse Butler thing, not according to the other guy who was caught behind the dumpster, who doesn't fall into the demographic that they're trying to blame. So that skewers the results. It's saying, wait a minute, this statistic is going to be totally different. That is not true. But again, you got guys that get hit with that mental problem of the laws of stupidity. That's the crazy thing. Ignorance really does have no prejudice. Doesn't care what color you are, whatever. Ignorance jump in there real quick. It just and they're not trying to play on the guy with the Oklahoma in Tulsa. That was sad, on a city bus. So like the other guy, the black guy was on a train. This guy's a white male on a city bus. So you have similar crimes, stabbing in the neck. One was fatal. One they managed to sew up, but they don't talk about one of them. They only talk about the other one, which was extremely graphic. It was messed up. Nobody's saying it's right. We're just saying, look, tell the full story. And the way they frame it, when they were framed like, oh, he had like 30 priors and all of that, like in a way saying it, blaming, the full blame. Oh, it's like, well, wait a minute. Who is doing this? Who is letting this out? I wouldn't be surprised if the other guy who did the thing on the bus had something similar too. I have to look it up. Have any prior? Okay. See what it says. He had a prior warrant. Holy smokes. This guy had a prior warrant. So he was being held on an outstanding fugitive from justice warrant out of Missouri. Holy smokes. I do remember looking through this story, though, a while ago. In addition to the new charges of assault with a deadly weapon and false impersonation. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. This is crazy, man. The more I look up, the more it pops up. Oh my goodness, there's another one too. Holy smokes. This guy's in Delaware. Oh my goodness. Yo, there's so much stuff to bring up, Alexis. There's so much stuff. I'm glad you brought this up. I really appreciate the support, brother. I'm really glad you brought this up because it fits the topic perfectly. I just looked up to see, okay, if the guy who did that to the woman in the neck in Tulsa, he actually had an outstanding warrant, fugitive from justice warrant out of Missouri, in addition to the new stuff. Then there's another guy in Oklahoma. Wow, this is crazy. And he did the same thing. He stabbed a woman in the neck during an argument. But this was during an argument, but he still did it. Prior arrests, they don't specify it. And there's another guy in Tulsa. No way. No freaking way. He was charged with stabbing an 87-year-old woman in the neck with a pen at a convenience store. These guys are nuts, man. Holy smokes. And guess what? Holy smokes. Yeah, they can't bring up the thing because he's a white male too. So it's like you got 3 incidents to the one that happened in, I think, South Carolina. Wow, this is brutal. I might need to do some videos on this, man. This is like some serious stuff. And then there's this guy in Delaware. So they put him away in prison for essaying a 14-year-old Delaware girl. This is freaking crazy, man. The amount of stuff that comes up is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. This story is not current, but still, it's horrific. This is horrific, man. Why? Why is there so many nutcases? Yeah, this is not this is so messed up, man. This is disheartening when I look through this stuff. But I tell you one thing, it definitely balances it off, like you're saying. They just love to use that narrative, Alexis. You're 100% right, but nobody can say that narrative is 100%. It's not true. It's skewed. Because I'm seeing here, it's just, I can't believe so much stuff is coming on. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, stabbing and cutting, 5. There is 5 incidents other than the guy that did that thing on the train where a guy is accused of stabbing and cutting a woman's throat. Oh my goodness, ear to ear. This is freaking holy this is crazy. This is freaking and the pictures, man. You guys already know. Holy smokes, no way. What? All right, this one, it's not recent, but still, it's like, this is scary, man. This is freaking scary. It's like, why? But yeah, man, this is I might have to do some research on this. It's some really crime and punishment, man. Name of the stream. Wow. And then it's got, I can't believe all this stuff came up. That's crazy, man. Yeah, this I'm looking through it like it's just endless stuff. I mean, yes, some of them aren't as recent, One is 2025, two is 2022, the other two 2015. Wow. Yeah, this is it's kind of scary. Yeah, this is Jake, you still there? I don't know. Yeah, I guess he got kind of quiet. I'm just trying to see. I had got the Schoolhouse Zombie here. When they think that they know all the statistics and all of that, I just give them the Schoolhouse Zombie.
Just believe what they tell you.
You know, you can't just believe what they tell you, man. Can't just believe what they tell you. Wow. I am flabbergasted. What the heck? November 18th, 2025. There's a Oklahoma again. What is it? Something in the water over there? Well, there's some in the water everywhere. Pottawatomie County. Oh my goodness. Arrested a suspect accused of stabbing a victim 14 times or critically injuring her. How? What the heck? Why would what is going on with this? Are they going to show this guy? Let me see. Let me see. Wait. Why can't it just show this, man? See, that's the thing, man. It just and this happened recent. Let me see if I can get the stats on this. This happened in Oklahoma. Why is it trying to? Oh, this guy's looking straight asylum. Wow. Yeah, this is some serious stuff when I think about the statistics on this. So you have so many instances that's popping up of stabbings and stuff like that. A lot of them is in Tulsa. Police said they found a man nearby. Another guy. Holy smokes. These are two different incidents too. Let me see. See if this is the Rhodes guy. Man, these freaking websites, they always got stuff popping up on these websites. Yeah, the bystander effect, man. Yeah, this is the one, that dude that had the warrant out in Missouri. And that's another thing too. He had a fugitive. So they don't want to bring that up. They don't want to. It's like, okay, yeah, it's horrible. What that guy did to the woman on the train in South Carolina, I think, horrible. That is not cool. That's like some monstrous stuff. But what this guy did in Tulsa was some monstrous stuff too. And he was on a fugitive warrant from Missouri. So how he got in Oklahoma, I mean, it is a bordering state, but it's like, I mean, he had a warrant from another state, but then there's people's not going to bring that up. They're like, oh, the other guy. It's like you said, all they look at is color, and they're not looking at crime. There's a problem with crime, man. And then we were linking it to some of the stuff that with the visual and the auditory. If you're listening to music that's constantly pounding the message of having an attitude in a person's head and then watching violent images, what do you expect the person is going to react with that too? I'm not saying that they're innocent. I'm saying, look, we're looking for a cause. We're trying to figure out, like, hey, is this just because the person is nuts? We know that there's going to be groups that try to say it's because of the person's ethnicity, which is just really, really messed up. We already know where they're coming from, and they don't want to acknowledge other stuff. So to keep people in a frame of mind that is reasonable, logical, with common sense, is to say, look, let's look at all of these factors. And it seems like how, Alexis, you had a very good point here. The politicians, they shift the blame. They shift the blame on blacks and not the politicians letting them out. Matter of fact, they won't even show the pictures of those politicians. It's like, we don't see, that's where the research has to be done. I got to see if I could find that. Let me see. Who were the people that let out the male who stabbed the woman in the neck on the train I think it was in South Carolina? Okay, so if I put that out, the man accused, all right, he had a lengthy criminal history. They try to say, okay, all right, cool. We believe that. We're saying, all right. And now he was released from previous custody multiple times due to various factors, right? Now, one guy did make a video and he was talking about a lot of the previous crimes weren't heavy crimes to hold him. So it was like, I mean, they should have knew something was wrong from even before that. It's like, come on, the guys, you having all these charges, you have to look into that. So no single individual being held solely responsible. So everybody's shifting. Oh, him. Okay, yeah, fine. We have the statistics on that. No mention of the people who let this guy out and kept. Prior conviction and release, 2020. He was incarcerated from 2015. Holy smokes. To 2020 for a 2014 charge of robbery with a dangerous weapon. He served his minimum sentence and was released by the state prison system. So he was in for 5 years for robbery with a dangerous weapon. So I guess they're not considering it armed robbery because it might not have been a firearm. But that's another thing. See, and this is the stuff that I'm surprised other people haven't even, they're so quick to say, oh, look, it's this, instead of saying, you know what, let me look this up. Because the first thing I thought too was Alexis got a good point. Say, wait a minute, who's nobody's talking about the people that let this guy out like so many times. So it's saying here, and even that, I mean, that is a serious thing, man. Robbery with the dangerous weapon. Mental issues. Involuntarily commitment denial. After his 2020 release, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Man. And his mother tried unsuccessfully to have him involuntarily committed to a long term. So his mother's trying to tell him, look, right here it's saying his mother's like, she's unsuccessful to have him involuntarily. So she's saying, no, this ain't voluntary. You got to put this guy away, her son. And they don't put him away. And this attempt failed because she was not his legal guardian, even though that's his mother. Wow, go figure. And according to reports, involuntary commitments in it was in North Carolina, all right, not South, at the time were difficult to obtain unless the court found the person to be dangerous. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. Holy smoke. So the court, we'd have to trace this to say who was the one. This is how they hide. So now he had a misdemeanor arrest in 2025 in January of this year. He was arrested and released without bond. Holy smokes. Who was it that released him? That's the thing. Wow. So it was a magistrate judge who allowed the release. All right. Let me see if I can find this. All right. Who's the magistrate judge? Who was the magistrate judge that released? What's the guy's name again? What the heck was his name? Okay. De Carlos? All right. Okay, who is the magistrate judge? Let me see. Oh, this is messed up. Did Judge Teresa Stokes. How the heck did this woman even become a judge? Holy smokes. This is crazy. Who released her? Cashless bail. So she released him on cashless bail before he committed this atrocity. This monster. Holy smokes, man. This is like, yo, something's really fishy about this, man. I mean, the fact that the guy's mother tried to get him committed and then this freaking person releases him. This is just, something is very, very odd about this thing. Something is very odd. I might have to do like a partial stream on this. This is really holy smokes, man. This judge, and the judge is a black woman. The judge is a black woman that apparently, but she's looking ghetto like a mug, man. I mean, I'm talking, this is like some straight barbershop type. How? This can't be this is a judge? You gotta be kidding me. Holy smokes. She looking like just straight something out of the Dark Crystal or something. Oh my goodness. This is okay. So we have that one. All right. So we know, all right, that's the lady that released him in 2025. That could have been that was very important. And Brown was arrested for misusing 911 after repeatedly claimed he had implanted man-made material controlling him. Holy, so wait a minute. Now we got this guy saying, so he got arrested because they're saying he was misusing 911, repeatedly saying he had he was implanted. He was released without bond, and it took months for a court to order a mental evaluation after the guy's mother and all of them tried to get this happening way before that, years before that. This specific release prompted significant political debate with North Carolina Republicans calling for the removal of the unnamed magistrate. So she was unnamed until I just looked her up and it said that's who it was. So we got that out the way. And then sister dropped charges in 2022. Brown also attacked his sister in 2022, but she dropped the charges due to concern for his mental health. I said, what are you talking about? Holy smokes, man. It's just, this is so brutal. You know what the craziest thing is? The fact that the guy is calling the cops, claiming that he had an implanted man-made material controlling him. That's, and this is the thing where I can't even believe nobody has even made videos. They're quick, like Alexis, you're right. They're quick to make the video and just put that blame, man. They're quick to make it just, and this is just me just looking it up within the last 20 minutes and finding out all this stuff impromptu, just being like, okay. Ultimately, the lack of effective intervention across multiple touch points in the mental justice system cited as contributing factor to the tragedy. And now they got it, the Irina's law. Of course, they're going to make up something like that and be like, oh, after the fact, which claims to reform the bail system and expedite death penalty cases. It's like just barbaric, man. This is such a barbaric. I mean, this is like this dude. You follow the trail of evidence easily on this one. History of ABC News. Something is very odd about this. Something is very, very odd about this. I got to look into it. Hopefully, I'll be able to yeah, I'll do a video on it, man. I'll look into some of the stuff. Matter of fact, I'll do a video unless it's required to do a live stream. This is like, I'm kind of like very much like, you got to be kidding me. I'm very surprised nobody has done a video or even went into some depth to say, look, this guy, we already know. It's like, wait a minute, the guy saying something's, it's like he's calling the cops to the point where the cops arrest him, saying he's misusing 9/11, but he's telling them, look, some type of material is controlling him. Nobody wants to look into that. I mean, this is, and the amount of stuff we have today, and I'm not saying that, you know, it's not his fault. I'm saying that this needs some investigation into it. But magically, it's like, no investigation. They make a new law, make the girl the innocent girl who was ended, make her a martyr. And now we have a law, kind of like when Hinckley, John Hinckley Jr. had tried to assassinate Reagan back in the 80s. And of course, it was just him. There was nobody else acting with him. That's the first thing where zombie, like, oh, okay, so this guy went to off the president, and you're telling me it wasn't some, just like all the other guys. Oswald always acted alone, right? I mean, it's so dirty, man. This is so dirty. And then Hinckley Jr. shot one of the guys with the president. I think it was Brady, and just, you know, it really messed him up. He was like, couldn't function after. I think he shot him in the head. And again, they passed a law. Oh, we're going to pass a law, the Brady law and stuff. So, and it's like, what the heck? It's like, I mean, yeah, this is a tough one, man. This is a repeating occurrence, basically. We see the pattern here. This is detective work. To say, wait a second, you had a guy that, and look at the pattern here. Look at the pattern. Who was it? Harvey Oswald, who they say shot Kennedy, acted alone, right? Meanwhile, there's so many people that be like, look, it looks like there was multiple, you know, this and that. Okay, no investigation. And then somebody offs Oswald, Ruby, right? When he didn't even, so he couldn't talk now. He's done. And then Ruby passes within months of doing that. So it's like, okay, they covered the tracks. Within 15 years later, what was JFK's? Early, mid 60s. Then you go to 80. I think it was the mid 80s. They did that, or early 80s. They did that to Reagan. Again, single guy. No, nobody else, just him. You got to be kidding me. And now, oh, we got to pass a new law because of that. So that's what we're going to do. You see, they're the good guys, right? Again, just dirty. So now we go forward. Let's go forward further. 40 years to Trump. Again, a guy tries that, if it was even real, because I'm very suspicious of that. But let's just say for the benefit of the doubt, again, oh, so he wasn't linked with nobody? It was just one guy, right? Again, Charlie Kirk, same thing. Oh, one guy. Yeah, he wasn't linked to nothing, right? It was just the one guy. Again, we see Dylan, the guy Dylan who shot up what was it, a church in South Carolina, looking like, straight asylum. He was alone. Again, oh, he was alone? Really? You believe that? And I think one of the victims in that church was a senator who was let me see, Dylan shooter, and I think it was South Carolina. All right, Dylan Storm Roof. That was his name? That's a weird name. Dylan D-Y. All right, Dylan Roof. Oh man, this guy's looking like, he's looking so Manchurian Candidate, man. This is crazy. This dude is so Manchurian Candidate looking. Oh my goodness. And they're saying, all right, who are the victims? And this is a church shooting. I mean, of all the places, man, of all the places, a website titled The Last Rhodesian. And then they're trying to say he had symbols, neo-Nazism, manifesto. Who was the victims? Earliest contacts with police. All right, because I think one of the people was a senator. Because if I'm correct with that, then this wasn't no random thing. If one of the people was a senator. All right, 9 people. Who were the 9 victims? Who were the 9? All right, so the Dylan Roof shooting. Who were the 9? Why can't they just come up with, it's just, man, this is like, it just makes you want to just go, wow, this is so sad, man. All of these people were black, man, too. So this guy killed 9 black people in a church. But they ain't going to throw that in the statistics. They definitely ain't going to say that. It's like, wow, this guy, because I thought, yeah, one of them. All right, let me see if it pops up over here. And they're trying to label him as a supremacist, which it seems Manchurian. And this was during a Bible study. Oh my goodness, man. At the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, colloquially. Who were the victims, man? Why can't they just, okay, this is it. Oh, nah, you got to be kidding me. So the pastor, right? That's one of the victims. The church's pastor, Clementa. No way. No way. South Carolina state senator? This was a hit, in my opinion. This was a hit. There is no way. Holy smokes. Sister, and then the sister of a former state senator, Malcolm Graham. Nah, Pastor who's also employed to another pastor. And then an officer of the church, choir member. Wow, this is Bible study teacher. I mean, what type of monster? What type of monster? So with the thing with the other guy, yeah, he's a monster, but they didn't say this guy's a monster, right? Holy smokes. This is yeah, this wasn't no random thing. This was not no random thing. This thing here was something that was very, very, in my opinion, orchestrated. This was not random, man. The people that were, you got to be kidding me. This a senator? So a senator, and no, it's just random. No, can't be. But I will look this up, man. It's man, it's almost one. It's 12:50. Man, I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys. Alexis, brother, thank you for the support, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Drew Ma, Alexis, why though, and guys, yeah, man. And the questions, bro, I'm gonna look into this, bro. I'm really, I was considering doing a stream on it before, and already I'm like so being careful to make sure I stay within guidelines, but I think this is safe. Like the last video is limited, I guess. I don't know, maybe I said something with the junk food, or I don't know if whatever. I mean, it shouldn't be that strict. Hopefully everything will be cool. But I'm gonna look into this, and I think I just got to think of a good name for the stream, man, because this requires, this is serious stuff. We have a crime problem in America. They try to put people against each other and try to make people play against their differences, but no, our differences are strengths. And the fact that we can all get along is a beautiful thing. We just got to remember somebody's behind the scene like a parasite troll trying to keep people at each other's throats. And we're smarter than that. We're more mature than that. This is something we can easily figure out, just especially looking through the illusion. But again, thanks to everybody in the chat, everybody that came on the stream. Appreciate it. You guys take care and have a great night.